Ken Flores, rest in peace, my dog. Yeah, man. Laughter, man, is powerful, man. The power of laughter is just, it's absolutely amazing, man. What would life be without laughter?
Sad.
Sad, yeah, absolutely. Opposite of laughter is sadness, man. 100%. But sometimes we laugh in our own pain, you know? Just laugh it off. Casey, talk to me.
It's game time.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to Hood Stocks, no days off. Shee-wee. You know how we do this, man. Monday through Friday. Then we thought we were off Saturday and Sunday. Here we are with Hood Stocks, getting ready to pop this shit off. Let's go. Welcome to the greatest podcast in the city of Los Angeles. The greatest podcast in the motherfucking world. This is Hood Stocks, baby. Don't play with this shit, man. See, right here at Hood Stocks, you don't gotta worry about catching yourself a motherfucking state case, a federal case.
Yeah.
None of that shit. You know what I mean? Not child support. You know what I mean? You might get recognized on here and get some child support slapped on you. But the last thing we want you to do around here is to catch a case, dog. You know what I mean? Yeah. See it. Hey, shout out to Everyday Carrie. Like that, dog. I like that. Yes, sir. Shout out to Boss Gang 21, man. He's been in pocket lately. You know what I mean? Usually he's out of pocket, acting crazy.
Yesterday he was out of pocket for sure.
Was he?
He was.
Oh, okay.
He plays both sides.
Oh, he's playing both sides. 20, time to take your meds. Yup, pill call. Skittles, for sure that fool be on the Skittle line, dog. Yes, Skittles for everybody, especially Boss Gang 21. Yeah, love you guys, man. So Hot Wheeler News grabs what I said yesterday on last night's podcast about Cuck 22, and of course he does. You know, Hot Wheeler Media, man. You know, he's got one job, and that's just to create, you know, madness and chaos, and you know, it's his job. I mean, some of these platforms, that's what they do, and they do it good. You know what I mean? Stir the pot. But yeah, so Cuck 22. Didn't like what I said about him. But, you know, that's what happens, man, when you let a fucking nerd into a circle of, you know, kind of street dudes. Now they start feeling like they're a street dude and they got some type of pull. Well, you might have some type of pull over there, but over here, baby, you know what I mean? You just a nobody, my dog. Hey, sorry, bro. You really are just a fucking square. You're a fucking nobody, bro. And you really have no love in this city. And the dudes that you employ, until you're not employing no more, you ain't gonna get no love from them either. And especially the ones that are sitting behind bars because they couldn't shut the fuck up on your podcast. But that's their fault. That's not your fault. But it sure doesn't help when you're just like, you know what I mean? Leading the horse with the carrot, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you weren't trying to, you know, be like, hey, my boy, you think you shouldn't be saying that? You know, you were like, yes, please, you know what I mean? Commit suicide.
Yeah, he was doing it for the views.
Absolutely, dog. And it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate that you're willing to, like, no how, no way, dog. Like we got the homie Menace right here, Hawaiian Gardens. Stand the fuck up.
Yay!
Let's go, baby. Menace, there's no way in hell, brother, that I want any guest. I don't care if he's a homie. I could say I don't even like the dude, bro. I do not want to watch him commit suicide on this podcast, bro. You feel me?
Yep.
You know, as a host, first and foremost, man, you got to have accountability. You got to have integrity. I mean, come on now, man. You know, it's different. It's like the Jerry Springer show was fun, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? That was cool. Like, shout out to Jerry Springer. Like, he was stirring the pot in a whole nother way. You know what I mean? You didn't hear about one motherfucker from Jerry Springer show get caught up in an indictment, right?
Nope.
No. You know, so there's ways and there's levels, man, and yeah, dog. But anyways, brother, I want to thank you, Menace, for blessing the platform today, coming through with the homie Looney. Come on, Looney.
There it is.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Such a blessing, man. Thank you, bro.
Looney, man, Casey's quick on that motherfucking trigger right there. Look at him.
Hello, everybody.
Is he good?
Yeah.
He got volume, right?
Yeah, I got volume.
Did you turn the mic on?
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, it's on.
Okay. Say something one more time.
Yeah, yay.
Okay. There we go. I'm gonna turn you up a little more, dog.
There we go.
Yes. Here we go, right here, my G's. I'll see you guys, man.
Yep. Shout out to Sleepy from Colorado, Parkside. How you doing? Colorado Hot Springs and Gangster Black from Florence. Joker's Click. Shout out to you guys, man. Love and respect, man. You guys keep your head up, man. Keep your head up in there, man.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Shout out to those men. What did an old Chinese man say? Lucky, interview the booty bandit. Don't worry, he got a muzzle on his junk because he wants Casey.
Hey, Daniel. Shout out to Daniel Romero in the chat.
The booty bandit. Well, once upon a time ago, they had dudes on the yards that were known as booty bandits. You ever seen them dudes?
Nah, by the time I hit, they were not allowed in the yard.
They were not allowed. The booty bandits?
Yeah.
What about the undercover shower sharks? You know how to recognize one of those? Yeah.
That's when you hear the music going by. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, it's you can use
Dun, dun.
sometimes you can tell by a shower shark is like if you're taking a shower and then all of a sudden you look out and you lock eyes, but then the homie breaks the eye contact right away. Not the homie, but the individual, and he looks like, you know, just like he saw a foul ball go. Foul ball. I remember there was this one yellow motherfucker, bro. It was in Delano State Prison. I think it was like early 90s, bro. All right, Delano State Prison, and the motherfucker had titties, bro. You know, and he the yellow motherfucker ran with the blacks, and man, the blacks loved that yellow motherfucker. You know what I mean? Not all of them. A couple of them did. But I would tell the homie, we'd be playing fucking pinochle and be like, hey, fool, that homie's calling you up there, fool. And he'd be like, where? And I'd be like, right there. And he'd be like, oh, fuck, you know what I mean? And that yellow motherfucker would be having the socks all the way up like this and washing the titties and, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't watching, bro. You know what I mean? It just happened. I see it in a little bit in my peripheral, bro. But I think the dude was yellow, bro, because he had what happens when you got yellow? When you're yellow, bro, you have jaundice or
Right.
Liver failure or something. Cirrhosis of the liver, yeah.
what is this shit called from
Oh, hepatitis.
hepatitis? Hepatitis will make you yellow too, huh? Yeah. Anyways, I don't know if they have them on the yards like that no more.
No. Undercover maybe. But
Undercover. Yeah, for sure. How long you been out for, bro?
I've been out for 7 years.
7 years. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And so you were gone for a cool minute.
Yeah, for 15 years.
15 years, man. And you got out and you said, fuck that.
That's it.
Never again.
Nope.
Never again.
I did this. I've been doing this my whole life. I'm 42 now. I think I went in when at 20.
Can you talk a little into the mic, my boy, please?
I got out. I went in around 20, and then I got out 35.
Okay.
Yeah, so
20 and you got out at 35.
Yeah, so my whole 20s was, and half of my 30s. Yep.
Damn. That's a good little stretch right there.
Yeah.
Southeast Los Angeles, Hawaiian Gardens.
Yep.
Yeah, man. What's the best place to eat out that way, dog? What would you recommend if I said, hey, Menace, I'm right here in the city. Where do I go?
Taco San Pedro.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
For sure.
Have you been in Hawaiian Gardens as long as Looney's family's been in Hawaiian Gardens?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, for sure.
Oh, like that, huh?
Yeah, he comes from two prominent families in Hawaiian Gardens that have been there for ever since my childhood memories, bro. Like his dad is one of my OGs, you know. So
Can you turn his mic up a little more, bro? Go ahead, Looney. Talk to me a little.
yeah, his dad is one of my OGs from my hood.
Thank
So
you.
I watched my homeboys grow up. You know, I watched the Adame. I've been friends with the family, the Adame family, and the Amaro family, and that's where he stems from. Two very prominent families in Hawaiian Gardens, you know, and I'm glad that I'm able to present my homeboy here today. You know, I'm honored to bring him here, you know, to tell his story. You know?
Absolutely. And Looney, you had your family just had like they had like farms, right? If I remember correctly, what you said.
So back in the day, there was absolutely nothing there. They brought all the shacks from Bixby's ranch out in Seal Beach. So Hawaiian Gardens was like a colonia that was established for like labor over in Seal Beach. And when Bixby found oil, they sold all that land over there towards Seal Beach all the way to Pedro. So what happened was Bixby gave all the people that worked for him all the shacks that he had, the little, you know, shanty town that they had constructed over there in Seal Beach, and they moved all that so that they could dig the oil up right there. And most of the shacks came to like Los Alamitos, Hawaiian Gardens. They made it all the way over to Norwalk, you know, those Bixby shacks back then. But yeah, that was a long time ago, bro. Yeah, my grandfather's ranch was actually where Artesia High School is today.
Oh, shit.
And then after they sold that, they bought like half of 212th and 211th Street. You know, there was a creek bed that ran right in front of 212th Street, but they covered that up, and you know, it goes underneath the city today. You know, but back then, my grandfather had an outhouse out there and an outhouse in the back for my great grandmother. That no boy was absolutely to use that right there. They would get the stick, bro. You know, you couldn't use the mom's outhouse back then.
And outhouse, aka restroom, correct?
Yes, restroom. Yes.
Yeah, and so she had her own personal outhouse.
Yeah, she got
What
it.
the evolution of just civilization, man, is unbelievable in the sense of just you know, outhouses to boudettes. You know what I mean? A boudet will spray some water in your booty hole and get it nice and, right? Is that what it's called? A boudet?
A bidet.
A bidet? A boudet?
A bidet, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandma, so my dad's mom, my tia, she used to tell me, she lived right across the street from us, so she used to tell us a story how when they were young, when they came to Hawaiian Gardens, that they owned actually probably about 4 or 5 blocks, and then Ferguson Elementary, like they had, that was all theirs back in the days.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like their little farm.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Having a farm and shit.
Yep.
I mean, just to think about the hood used to be like just a rural area, you know, farmland and tractors and outhouses. I mean, it's kind of cool, bro. History is super fucking cool, man. Yeah. And especially like Looney and your family that have been established in a certain area for so many generations is unbelievable, bro, because a lot of people don't have that claim on the land. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's true.
Which is pretty cool, though, because you know what I mean. Like even like my side, like you know, my mom and my pops, they both from different, you know, like from different countries. You know, my mom's Mexican. You know what I mean? 3rd generation, whatever. Obviously been here for a cool minute, but then my pops, Russian Jew. You know what I mean? But when you've been in a certain, you know, part of a section for so long, so many, like a gang of generation, that's pretty fucking cool, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you got those old pictures and shit.
Yep.
That's like great.
Yeah, they did have some pretty cool. Richard, they had some pretty cool pictures of like the area back in the days, like when they were kids, and yeah. So we have some.
What was the soil known for?
They were growing sugar beets originally there, but
That's right. You told me about
but that crop failed, and the dude that owned all the area of the sugar beet plantation from damn near Los Alamitos all the way to Cerritos, right? And then he sold all that off, and the Dutch people moved into Cerritos and created a bunch of dairies right there. Actually, back in those times,
they still have like a little community right there too.
yeah, they certainly do. Yeah, they certainly do have a community there that stems from way back, bro. Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty dope, bro. That's pretty super dope, man. I like, and it's so cool, man, with like YouTube and shit. Like you can just like, they got so many like documented videos and old pictures and footage that you can really just, I mean, YouTube is just kind of like a encyclopedia of, I mean, just everything, man, you know?
Yeah, you can find anything on YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's
for
there.
sure.
Definitely.
It's pretty,
Yeah.
man. YouTube is a, like, let's kind of, I'm thinking about this as we're talking about it, and YouTube is a powerful platform. What if YouTube went down, man? Fuck. What else would we have that would represent the YouTubes? I don't think there's anything else, bro. I mean, there's some smaller platforms. What's that platform called, Casey? They got this kind of like similar like a YouTube?
It wasn't Rumble. I don't remember.
Rumble, yeah,
Was it
Rumble. No, it's Rumble. Is that blurred or am I tripping?
You're tripping.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Rumble is kind of like a YouTube, man. Yeah. What's so funny?
No, I was trying to catch my cough.
Oh, he's trying to catch a cough. This fucking guy, bro. Bro, he's been coughing like that for a long time. I'm a little worried about him.
Oh, shit.
You know?
I got the black lung pop.
Everybody's getting that cough.
We decided to go walk in the middle of the Altadena fires when that happened, and we just kind of just took in all the carcinogens into our lungs, and we're here now. So
You've had that cough before the Altadena fires.
that's
man.
a lie. That is a lie. He's bullshit.
I feel like
He's bullshit. I'm gonna get workman's comp, dude.
I feel like he's really trying to like plant a seed, bro, for a future lawsuit or something, you know? Yeah, he said that shit twice already. I'm just like, bro, like what the fuck we saying, bro?
I think there's like everybody has been getting sick. Like I got not too long ago, I got sick. I ended up with walking pneumonia, but I had that cough for like probably like over a month. Like it was bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that shit sucked.
Yeah, and that's just that like fucking hoarse type of cough.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Like that hack almost.
Yeah, I couldn't.
That dry cough.
Yeah, I couldn't get nothing up. I literally had to sleep sitting up. Couldn't lay down. I felt like I was gonna drown in fucking mucus and shit. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I've had some pretty crazy coughs. Well, you know what? It's crazy. Dude, trip on this shit. Speaking of a good cough story. No, it's for real shit, bro. So before the COVID hit, remember the COVID?
Yeah.
And shit hit around January.
Yeah.
Remember? Or January, February, something like that. Mm-hmm. Bro. Was it November, December? It might have been like October or September. Bro, I was so fucking sick, bro. Before that. And so I had the COVID.
Oh, you just didn't know.
And I didn't know, bro. But in hindsight, when it came, and I told my girl, I said, babe, remember I was sick? Dude, I thought I was going to die. And it was a cough, bro. It was a fucking horrible cough that I would almost pass out when I coughed. Like it'd make me lightheaded, and shit would just go like stars, bro.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Like it was fucking horrible, and I had it and I thought it was from smoking. And I had it for a month.
Damn.
It wouldn't go away, and it never ever have I been sick where I said, damn, what the fuck is wrong with me? I don't know if I'm gonna get better from this. That's how fucked up I was, you know. And I was going to the doctors. They were giving me, what do they give you?
Promethazine?
They give you the promethazine, but they give you those, whatchamacallits, like steroids, bro.
Like
Steroids to help your lungs.
Like
function.
Keflex.
They give you like the asthma pump.
Yeah.
Keflex. It's
Yeah.
like a antibiotics that's like a steroid.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit makes you, after 3 weeks, bro, it have you feeling normal and strong and all kinds of shit, bro. I got
that's how I got though, like the cough, like where I would get dizzy. I felt like I was gonna pass out. Fucking that shit was bad. That shit sucked.
So I had the COVID before they had a name for it, and I told you about that, Casey?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
We were podcasting back then, man. Me and Casey were podcasting, bro.
Coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when it first came out, like when they started throwing out the symptoms, and I remember it was one day my dad, he was staying with us, and we were in the room just chilling, just kind of lounging. My kids, my wife, were just chilling, and he was cooking breakfast, and then he knocked on the door, and he was like, "Hey, are you guys hungry? I made breakfast." And I was like, "What the fuck? Like, what'd you make?" And he said, "Bacon, sausage, eggs," and I couldn't smell, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm sick. Like, I can't smell. I couldn't smell none of that shit."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Damn." So that's how I found out. I ended up. We all had that shit.
Yeah.
That shit sucked.
A lot of people passed on from that, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
So it was a real thing.
Yeah.
The problem was with the COVID was the jab. People had a problem with these vaccines that was created out of nowhere. you
Yeah.
know? It was creative, like right there in the spot. And then all of a sudden there was like a mandate, like for certain
Emergency use authorization because there was no other cure for the disease. So they somehow had a vaccine that was been working on for years that was able to be streamlined to the public at exponential rates and not tested over years to have research on how this would affect the human body. And we could get really deep into it, but I think we'll get demonetized if we go any further.
Well, they were, no, it's true, bro. It's 100% true. Well, the Biden administration was getting at Zuckerberg. Mark
Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg, and they were saying, "Hey, bro, you need to strike down if they're putting these type of posts up, you know?" And damn, where's the freedom of speech at? And this is the Democratic Party where the freedom of speech is supposed to be at, right?
That.
You know,
I didn't get none of that shit. I didn't do none of them vaccines.
I had to get the vaccine, and I was you don't have to do nothing. Let's be real about it, right? But I was working at the time, and I could have done what somebody was doing over here.
Oh, that somebody else was providing over there.
But I you know what I mean, a lot of people were finding ways not to take the shot.
Right.
And just getting the credential.
Yeah.
You know, but it's caught up to some of these people.
Man, free canine, dog.
We're just free canine. We're over here fucking telling on each other, snitching on each other.
I feel like I'm on no jumper right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, bro.
Lucky's trying to get me indicted, dog.
The COVID police is gonna come snatch your little ass up, homie. Yeah, I ain't bailing you out, homie. You're gonna sit in there, bro, and they're gonna just jab you to death, bro.
We get locked up on the COVID yard.
Yeah, you're gonna be in the COVID yard, bro. In Chino East, bro, they had a fucking AIDS spot.
Oh, shit.
In Chino East,
I remember that.
They used to have an AIDS, and it was fenced off.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the homie one time. I was in Chino East, pro violation, right? You go to Central, and then you get kicked out to the west or the east yard. Now the west yard is like 1s and 2s, and the east yard is kind of like 3s and 4s or something like that. And then, or you can stay in Central, something like that, bro. Anyways, but I'm in the east, and I remember walking the yard, and there was a bunch of like yellow motherfuckers. there was just a funny. Oh, and it was crazy, bro, because there were some dudes that were like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking, you know what I mean? And I said, "Hey, dog, why they got that fenced off? Remember that, Looney?"
Yeah, I do. I remember that.
It was fenced off, and he said, "Oh, everybody in there has AIDS."
Yeah.
And I said, "Are you fucking kidding me, bro?" I said, "Not that dude right there. Look at him, bro. That dude looks fucking." He looked like a veterano, you know what I mean? Healthy, bro. Big fucking brosha, bro. You know, a god fucking brosha. There was, you know what I mean? There was a brosha to be put in a dictionary. That was the one, you know what I mean? Like, it was healthy. It didn't look like an AIDS mustache, you know what I mean? This shit was nice, bro. Yeah, man. Well, you know, they get it from the, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember one of the homies in the pen, he had told me some stories about that yard. But speaking of that, that's one of the most miserable places I've ever been. Chino, going through there when we were when we got indicted, we had to like lay over there for a bit, and then on the way back to state. Oh my god, that shit was horrible there.
Yeah, it's fucked up, bro. Because you can smell the cows coming in through the vents. And I got a funny story about that, bro. That I've shared it a couple times right here, and they're probably like, "Here we go with this fucking shit story, Lucky." But the little homie, it was his first time in Chino, you know? And when we were in the holding tank before we went up to, what's the one called? Cypress, where they got the open theaters, where you can throw someone off the tier, bam, 5 tiers, 4 tiers, something like that. I think it's Cypress, right? And then they got Madrone, and they got this one spot where they send all the fucking, titties with dicks and shit. You can't go there. You got to get out of there quick. But the little homie, before I got there, bro, the Huda threw in a big box with apples and peanut butter, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm still on the come down, bro. You know what I mean? I'm on a pro violation, dog. I was on a sick one out there, so I ate about 10 apples, 15 peanut butters, homie.
Oh, shit.
And you know what that does to you, bro. You know what I mean? So we went in the cell, and, we're tired, bro. We've been in there forever. And I just start fucking the silent ones. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, and I was like, fuck, any minute this fool's gonna fucking pop his head down. And, because they smelled horrible, bro, And all of a sudden he puts his head down, he's got a towel wrapped around his nose and shit. And he goes, damn, dog, you smell that shit? And I said, yeah, fool. I said, it's the cows, homie. It's coming in from the vent, dog. He goes, that smells like straight shit, dog. I've never smelled nothing worse than that. So he started getting the toilet paper and wetting them. I said, you got to block the vent, bro. So he started wetting the toilet paper, plastering the vent. And then he popped his head down. He's like, damn, dog, it's getting worse.
He made it worse for himself.
Stupid, huh? My bad. Let's get into your story, my dog. Enough small talk. Thought we'd just ease up into this, man. It's Sunday, bro, Yeah. It's kind of like just like, chill day, bro. Super chill, right? Yeah, so let's share a little bit about your story, Maji. As much as you like to share, as much as you can share, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just so we can get to know you, your life, your struggle, and get to know the man that we have sitting here now, which you've endured and which you've been resilient from, Yep. Were you born and raised on that side of the turf, Hawaiian Gardens?
Yep, born and raised.
Obviously, right?
Yep.
You've got many family generations. You talked about that. Mm-hmm. And were you raised with like moms and pops, good family?
Yeah, my mom and dad. Was raised with my mom and dad. And then at some point, my mom and my dad they separated. So, but like we had my dad. He lived like right across the street, a couple houses down. So we had we had my mom and my dad throughout our life. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. And what kind of were they part of the hood or were they working class people?
My dad is from my neighborhood. My mom, no.
Okay.
My mom, she just she took care of us. My mom was she worked really hard.
What kind of work she do?
She started. My mom started. She had like 3 jobs. She did. She used to work at this. I don't know if you guys are gonna remember Looney. It was the donut shop right there where the casino's at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she used to work there, and then she worked at like it was a drugstore in was it Big Five over there, Big A Drugs, and then from there she ended up getting into like it's kind of like the Boeing work. Like
aerospace.
Yeah, aerospace type work.
Okay.
She ended up getting in there, and from there she just took off, man.
That's
She grew into that type of that line of work, and now my mom, she has everything. You know what I mean? Like
she balling.
Yeah, she's doing it.
Shout out to moms.
Yeah, shout out to my mom.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
Do you remember when she worked at the donut shop?
Yeah, man. We used to. I mean, it was crazy. Like my mom was tough. Like we would go to school, come home from school, and we would be there with her while she was working.
That's tight.
Yeah, whatever she had to do, she did it.
And when you're that young, you're so innocent, and you don't. I mean, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I mean, you can answer the question, bro. But like, I would say, it's probably pretty cool that your mom works at a donut shop and you get to hang out there.
Oh, yeah, I remember all that. Yeah, we get there, eat everything.
Right? Yeah. Benefits.
Watching TV, eating everything.
Yeah, like you're not like, oh fuck, my mom's got a donut shop job. But just, and that's why I said the innocence of a child.
Yeah, when you're a kid, you don't know the struggle. Like there's been time even since I've been out, like with my kids, me and my wife, we've had as far as like financially, we've had ups and downs, and I made dumb choices and moves without really thinking about it, and kind of got us into situations, but like never projected that on my kids. Like never let them see like that we were struggling and always, you know, because you don't want kids to know that when they're kids. You want kids to be kids, and you just want to show them that, you know, like they don't know my past. They don't know nothing about that. You know, my kids are my son's 3 and my daughter's 5, so they don't know about the past me. You know, they just know this Gennaro. So, you know, you want to install in them and let them see, like, if you work hard, you can have this. So, you know, the times that we're struggling, we never projected it on them. We just, you know, pushed through.
That's cool, bro. So you never had like them arguments, like in front of them?
No, I mean, like off to the side, but yeah, not in front of them.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Me and my girl are the fucking worst example for that shit. Dumb bitch, you ain't got a job. That's why you ain't got that. Well, you don't give me that. Like, bro, they be hearing some shit.
Nah, I mean, now, I mean, like, we talk shit, but I mean, like, stuff like that, no, nah, not in front of them.
Yeah, it sucks, bro. Sometimes, I guess I'm just repeating history because that was always shown in front of me growing up, you know what I mean? You kid and you just like, and now I'm the one. We don't do that all the time, bro, but we've had some good ones where now the kids are just like.
I mean, I think when we got older, we seen some stuff, you know, like struggles and things that my mom and dad went through, and I mean, I think for the most part, I took some of the negative stuff and turned it positive. Like my pops growing up, and right now my pops is probably like 20 years clean, 20 years. He you know, but when we were little, man, he was bad. And I always tell this story. I mean, I even tell this to my wife. It was this. So when I was in elementary school, I had this 6th grade teacher. His name was Mr. Casillan. And that fool used to do these things with us every Friday. He used to tell us about statistics. And he'd be like, out of 5 of you guys, you know, because where the school was at, you know, it was in my hood. So he'd be like, you know, statistics say that about out of every 5 of you guys, you know, 3 are gonna be gang members, and then out of 5 out of those, 2 you guys are gonna die due to gang violence. And if you have a family, if you have family members that are addicted to drugs, it's a fact that you're probably gonna be addicted to drugs. So that shit scared the shit out of me. So I always looked at, like, I don't want to be like that when I grow up. You know, like, I don't want to live that life. Like, I don't want to be like that. So that's one thing that I stood away from, like drugs. I was scared of drugs, like hard drugs, you know. Like, I smoked weed and shit, but that was pretty much it. And
That's interesting, man, that a teacher would do that. And I was, as you were telling me that, I was kind of like just playing it in my head and trying to figure out if that's a correct thing to do, you know, for a grown adult to be telling kids this shit.
I don't think it was, but I mean,
is
I
that
don't know
appropriate?
If
you know
yeah,
what I mean? Or does
don't,
that help them? That makes them aware, like you know
yeah, I don't know if it.
Is he out of line for saying that to someone else's kids?
Yeah, if I found out like a teacher was doing stuff like this to my kids, I'd be tripping.
We'd have a problem.
Yeah,
right?
I'd be tripping on it. Yeah.
So I guess that's the best way to look at it,
Yeah.
is in a parent's perspective. Do you want this motherfucker telling your kids that, hey, bop, 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 whoa, 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 you know? But maybe some parents are like, well, they're going to hear it from somebody. I guess it just depends on the parent, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's kind of interesting. It reminds me of a movie, too. Edward James almost played in. Stand By Me. What was it called? I don't know. One of
Stand and
those.
Deliver, is it?
Yeah,
Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like remind me of that movie. And so Pops, man. Pops was a rough dude.
Yeah, I mean, nah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in his days when he was running the streets, but
as a father,
as
to
a father, no. My dad was real laid back. He was real chill.
chill.
Yeah.
Was he? So he was there for you.
Yeah. He was chill. He was like the dad. Like, say if we were doing something bad and my mom like got on his case about, oh, like, go tell him something, and he would come in the room and he would just like he'll like fake yell at us, or like get the belt, hit the wall, and then act like he disciplined us and shit.
Oh, he was cool like that.
Yeah.
He's like, man, you better cut your shit out. You'll get us both in trouble. Yeah. So mom was the real deal then. She was the boss.
My mom was strict. Yeah.
She was the boss, though.
Yeah, for sure.
So much that your pops respected it.
Yeah.
And he, in a sense, played along with it.
Yeah.
He could have, like, as a man, sometimes maybe like alpha males might be like, they'll express their disagreement and maybe how the woman might feel, you know what I mean? And be like, nah, I'm not gonna tell him that. But instead maybe he loved her so much and he was like, hey, you know what, fuck it, you know what I mean? I don't agree with her, but I'm just gonna go do it like this. I mean, it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting approach, bro.
Yeah.
Kind of tells a lot about the man that your father is, You feel me? You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes with my girl, I'm just like, nah, you know what I mean? Nah, I don't agree with you on this, you know what I mean? But anyways, I mean, people express love. I think that's him showing love and respect to your mom, you know what I mean? But then showing love to you guys too.
Yeah.
So you're like, fuck yeah, that's cool as hell.
Yeah, we could do anything.
Yeah, so he was a lot more easier to deal with.
Yeah.
More, like you said, he was laid back, chill. How was your upbringing, bro? I mean, was it good?
Yeah. I mean, I can't say. Some people will say it's the environment they grew up in. It's stuff like that. I would say for me, my mom did everything for us. I would say we had everything that we wanted, everything that we needed.
Yeah.
I just at some point I just got attracted to the streets, and and that was it. That's just how, for me, that's how it started.
Yeah. And so you attracted to the streets. I mean, streets are fucking sexy beasts, bro. Streets are sexy than a motherfucker, bro. When you a kid too, dog, you see them motherfuckers just doing what the fuck they want to do, when they want to do it. Little bad motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. It's most definitely an attraction. Yeah. And so you kind of like started running the streets a little, huh?
Yeah, I started running around like my older brother. My older brother, he was already running around, and then I kind of started getting my feet wet, running around with the homies. And
was he from the city too?
Yeah, my brother. Yeah,
from the turf.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so that kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? You looked up to your older brother.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. How much older was he than you?
My brother was maybe like a year and a half.
Okay, so you guys were close in age.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I got daughters, bro, 8 and 9, and it's funny because the 8-year-old beats up the 9-year-old, but the 9-year-old's a boss because she's very smart, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the 8-year-old is strong. But I was hearing them argue today in the car today on the way over here. And she's like, well, you're always trying to beat me up, She goes, well, you're not listening to me. But sometimes it's the opposite. Like, I'm older than you. You can't beat me up, How was the dynamics between you and your brother? Were you guys real soft?
I don't think we fighting like that, nah.
You looked up to him, though, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you followed his footsteps onto the streets.
Yeah.
Because, he's out there, so you're like, fuck it, I want to be outside with my big bro.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you start getting to running around on the streets and stuff. You ever get into, where do we go from there, bro? With your story.
It's basically how I got locked up. So I just got caught up in some stuff with my homies. We got caught up in a robbery, and we all got locked up. And then it was just like, after that, for me, it was just like, it was juvenile hall, so it was just juvenile hall camp. They would kick me out to the streets. Boom, get out to the streets, and then it's just like, the system is so fucked up for us as juveniles at the time. Like, they don't have nothing set up for you, so it was just like, okay, get out there, don't be around your homies. Okay, well, then school, they would throw us into a continuation school. So I've been in the continuation school, and the continuation school is just all my homies. So it's like, well, what do you expect? You don't want to be around my homies, but you want me to be in this fucking classroom with 20 of my homies.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of like set up for you just to go back and forth.
The way the system is set up.
Yeah, it was just like, they didn't have nothing for you. It was just,
It's interesting the way they do that too, huh?
Yeah.
You know, they put all the fuck ups together, bro.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like they're either like,
Yeah, this continuation school, at the time it was in my hood. So this school was in my hood, and it was just like literally, it was just all my homies. That's it. It was a classroom full of the homies.
yeah,
So it was just kind of like, yeah, it was just a setup. I was just in and out of juvenile hall, in and out of camp, just violations, nothing new, no new beefs or nothing like that. And then I ended up going to YA, caught a case. We fought it, we beat the case, and we got out, and then they ended up fucking just because of when I got busted, I was with one of my homies. Like they caught us together. I got busted. So just because of that, my PO, I remember my PO at the time, she told me like, "Oh, you're getting out," but she was on vacation, so she's like, "You're getting out today." Like she pulled me from court. She pulled me to a visiting, and then she said, "Oh, you're getting out. You got lucky, but you know what? I'm gonna read that report. It's on my desk right now, and if there's anything in there that's a violation," she was like, "I'm gonna send you to YA." And I'm like, okay. Like I didn't think there was nothing like that she could do. I was like, okay, whatever. So I went home, and like within maybe like a week or two, they hit my house, and sure enough, she did, and she sent me to YA.
How long you in YA for?
For like 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
How was YA?
YA was pretty crazy. It was just like a prison, but like juvenile hall. You know, like fucking fight with with anybody, pretty much. You know.
Yeah.
Didn't matter who it was. It was just a prison, but with a bunch of little kids. And I mean, I went through YA. I ended up going to fire camp. So I just did the fire camp thing, and then I did that for about 2 years. So about
juvenile fire camp.
Yeah.
How was that, bro?
That shit was cool.
Yeah.
Fire camp was really cool.
Tell me a little about fire camp, bro.
Fire camp, that it was cool. It was like a dorm setup, but I mean, we worked every day. So we went out to work every day, like Caltrans type shit.
The grade, they call it, right?
Yeah, went out to work, and then during fire season, it was just like constant. They were just.
Did you fight any fires?
Yeah. I went to.
It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I remember this. Like, I almost like so. If you leave the fire camp, they'll send you to like TS, Preston, like the pins of the YA.
Yeah.
And I remember the first fire I went to, that shit was so crazy. Like, we pull over on the side of the highway, and there was like this little creek, and it was just filled, you know, with bushes, trees, and shit. So we were clearing it out, was getting cleared out, and then we had to climb up the side of this mountain. And this part of this mountain was burnt out already. So our job, that part of our crew, was just to clear out that brush and all that shit, so it didn't catch.
Yeah.
And it was like basically part of the fire line. So we're cutting all that shit out. We climb up the side of the cliff where it's burnt out, and we're waiting for these crews, one of our crews and some other crews, to come down the other side of this mountain. They're cutting a line, then they're gonna come back down to meet us, and we're just gonna chill, pretty much just watch the fire come and burn out. And so this fire caught wind so crazy, it came up the mountain, and it's coming down, and like all these guys are just fucking running for their lives, and we're sitting there watching this shit like, what the fuck? and then at that time, like imagine all this shit that we're sitting on is just burned out. So there's all these big ass boulders at the top of the mountain.
Oh shit!
And so everything that was actually holding that shit was all burned out. So all of a sudden, we're hearing like this loud ass, these thump, like doom 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 coming down. And then basically, you know, it's in the middle of the night, and all we have is these headlamps. So we're just like turned around and we're looking, and literally we're playing fucking dodgeball with these big ass boulders, and they're falling off, and they're hitting people that are in this ravine. And so I remember at that moment, like after all that shit was done, I sat down and I was just like, fuck this shit. And the fire captain was like, oh, what? And I was like almost wanted to just quit. Like, fuck, you can send me to TS, wherever the fuck. Yeah. I ain't about to die for a couple $1 an hour. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I ended up sticking it out, and I mean, there was opportunities there, and like even with the homies that go to the prison fire camps, they get out, they get into the firefighter scene and all that, and there was opportunities for us, and I actually had an opportunity, but it was just the fact that I was gonna be so far away from my family. I would have been up north somewhere, and I think I was just too immature at the time, and I didn't take it.
Take the opportunity.
Yeah, I had like the fire captain. Yeah, I had the fire captain like gave me the info that I needed to reach out and get started, and I say I was just still too immature at the time, and I didn't take it, and basically just hit the streets.
That's right, dog. Yeah, I fought what fire is it? 18 years old out of Susanville. I was trying to like not be in fire camp because I wanted to be on the Susanville yard with the homies, and that was back when like there was a bunch of Norteños on the yard. This was like 96, something like that. And like where everybody's just like where they used to let you have red and blue paños on the yard, bro.
Oh, shit.
And so you see one yard, bro. One side of the yard it'd be all red, bro. Gang of Norteños, you know what I mean? And you see the side of the yard, and it'd be all blue, all the homies and shit, bro. And that was the first time I went to prison, and it was a real crazy environment in the sense of like it was active. It was a 2-yard, bro, but it was active than a motherfucker, bro. You know what I mean? And it was like a movie, bro. So I wanted to stay on the yard, but so I got sent to fire camps, and I got kicked out of them on purpose. You know what I mean? And then they finally sent me to this last one where I ended up staying. And it was a cool one. It was supposedly where all the fuck-ups were at. And we actually fought some real fires, dog. Like some crazy-ass fires, bro, where we're like in a valley, bro, cutting line. And, you know, trees are just boom, boom, boom. We got caught up in what they call a firestorm, dog.
Oh, shit.
We got caught up in a firestorm. And it was funny because we used to clown some of these hot shots. They would, these outside chainsaw dudes that were in charge of cutting the big dog trees, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of them would be like these toothless backwood white boys, you know what I mean? And we'd be like, hey, dog, let me get some of that shit you're on, fool, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't got no shit right here. We're like, bro, you ain't got no teeth, homie. And then the chainsaw is bigger than them, you know? But we were clowning this one dude. We're like, man, what the fuck's this fool gonna do, dog? You know what I mean? He looked like a little rat, bro, with a big ass chainsaw. And when we got caught up in that firestorm, that was one bad motherfucker. He was like a fucking knight in shining armor, bro. That motherfucker. You just seen that motherfucker.
Chopping everything
And then
down.
he's got his dude fucking putting the wedge in it, and he's like, it's gonna fall that way. They're gonna drop the tree where they're gonna say they dropped the tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want that tree dropped right there? We're gonna drop it right there. They don't care about when. Like, these dudes are bad, homie. This little motherfuckers, this little toothless fucking tweaked out motherfucking hillbilly motherfucker was a bad motherfucker, bro. And we got the fire jumped the line, and we're getting ready to deploy the motherfucking those like the foil suits or whatever, the baked potato bags, bro. You know. And we got and it was crazy too, dog, because when wildlife is running by you, like that's their house. And when they getting the fuck out, like, what the fuck are we doing, bro? Follow the bears, follow the deer.
Yeah. Time to leave.
It's time to go.
Yeah.
And we got flown out by a helicopter, dog.
Shit.
Yeah, helicopter, bro, because we had to cut up that little. Remember that white boy, the 90% armor? He was cutting us a helipad, right?
Oh shit.
You know the helipad?
Yeah.
For the helicopter to land.
Sick.
You know, because the fucking fire had done jumped all our lines.
Damn.
Firestorm. One of the so getting out of breath talking about this like I'm fighting the fire right now, bro. Getting winded. But my respect for firefighters.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, we used to work alongside them.
For sure.
Hell yeah. Shout out to the homie Rudy Chapa.
Oh,
my homies, he's doing that right now.
Yeah, chop off fitted.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Oh, the dude that sells a hat?
Yeah, he sells the hats. Yeah,
that's what he
Is he a
does.
Hawaiian Garden homie?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what he does.
Chop off fitted.
Yeah, he's a hot shot. Yep.
Doesn't he have a shop in Pomona?
No, I'm not sure.
No, but I know his Instagram.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sells hats.
Yeah,
Shop
that's
on
it.
Fitted.
Yeah,
I think he follows me.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Oh yeah, for
He's
sure.
a hot shot.
For sure he follows you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a hot shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a hot shot.
They gave that they labeled that name. Are those individuals correct?
Yeah.
The motherfuckers are hot shots.
Hell yeah. We used to work alongside them, and them fools were tough.
They're bad, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Firefighters are, bro.
Yeah.
I see firefighters, bro, and I fucking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Give a fuck if I'm fucking scoring some crack on the corner, homie. I see a little fish.
Yeah.
Ever since that day, bro, I salute them motherfuckers, bro. That shit's crazy, bro.
Hell yeah.
You know, motherfucker, young dude gangbanging on the streets, right? Running, gunning, stealing, everything, right? And now you throw that dude in a forest with a motherfucking McLeod.
Yeah.
The fuck is a McLeod?
You're talking about scrape some line.
Yeah. You got a McLeod, homie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A Pulaski.
The plastic, the pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, oh shit, this shit is crazier than a motherfucker, bro. Yeah. Fuck the helicopters, fuck the gunshots. Bro, we were at fucking fire.
Hell yeah.
We on and then fools kept on getting hit on the head with trees. You always had to look up when you cut in the line because the trees were falling on fools' heads. This was up north, dog. You know what I mean? A lot of trees, man.
Yeah, same thing. That's where we were up north. And then we had we're up north. Damn, what's that shit called? Mount Buyan. Yeah, that was the name.
Yeah, I was out there in Humboldt County, Ferndale.
Ferndale. I remember one of the times when we were on a fire, so they had a bulldozer was doing the
cutting the line.
Yeah, cutting the line.
Yeah.
And we were just following the bulldozer, and we're just throwing like the debris, like fucking branches and shit, throwing them off to the side. So as we're going, boom, we're going, and then they had one of the prison camps in front of us, and then they had like the hura, the guard. It was like in between. There's a few of them in between, so we wouldn't interact with them, I guess. And then so we're walking, and they're doing the same thing we're doing, but they're ahead of us. And then all of a sudden, we noticed fucking off to the side, we started seeing a couple little bud plants. Yeah, and then and then we're like, fuck yeah, and then we're like, we're pumped. We're like, all right, we were gonna sleep there, like on the line. That was gonna be our spot. We were gonna call it a night for a couple hours, and so we're fucking waiting, and then boom, sure enough, the cop caught it, and they found like a whole little field. Yeah, and fucking they started cutting all that shit.
So we found a black 1,000 on everything I love, bro. We on the grade, right? We had this one dude, a fire captain. They called him JD, short for Jack Daniels. You know what I mean? And if you ever work for the dude, or if he's still around, probably not, bro, because this was so many years ago, and the dude was old back then. But every time he'd pick us up for the fire camp, he'd be like, we're going to go over right here. We're going to fucking clean out the cemetery. You know what I mean? Because, they'll just take you to a cemetery, and they'll be like, clean the cemetery, pull the weeds. You know what I mean? Shit. Yeah. And it's in the middle of fucking nowhere, bro. And JD, man, you know what I mean? He always liked a good nap, bro. And his naps always look like this. His head on the steering wheel, you know what I mean? Knock the fuck out, bro. He's gone, bro. And so we just like, now you got a bunch of dudes just like, well, fuck, what are we gonna do? You know what I mean? And so we do some shit, bro. Yeah. We do some shit, bro. We get into some shit, dog. Like really, try to, bro, come on.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Then go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I want to say like towards probably like my last 6 months in that fire camp, I ended up going on this crew, but like once you're close to home, they take you off the fire camp. They put you on this crew, and you go into the city. So the city right there where the camp was, Mariposa. So we would go through the little city, and we'd clean and do shit like the cemetery. And then depending on the season, we drop off, like they had a list of like all the senior citizens, like their houses. We drop off. They had a yard in the back of the camp. We go get firewood, chop it up, and then we would go drop it off at their houses. But our boss was the same way. He'd be sitting in the truck, boom, fool would fall asleep, and then we just be like, fuck, like, what do we do? Yeah.
Yeah. You work in the senior citizen areas and shit. You think back then you would have fucking, like, if you had action with an older lady, like a 78-year-old woman, you would have hit it?
Nah, hell no.
Nah.
I haven't been down that long yet.
I know Looney would for sure. He looked like he don't play fair.
Hey, Lucky. When I was in fire camp, Lucky, everybody was always daring people to do some dumb shit, right? And there was this one dude, he was picking up these yellow slugs in the forest up in Klamath Falls, right? And I had just watched on Animal Planet these slugs, right? When like a snake or a lizard comes up and tries to eat them or whatnot, they start spewing off foam out of their skin, And I'm watching these guys say, "Hey, I dare you to eat this yellow slug right here. I swear to God, I'll give you 6 jars of coffee and 3 cases of soups." And the dude was like, "What?" And he goes, "Shit, I'll take that shit right now." And I go, "Don't do that shit, dumb fuck," right? And this dude swallowed that damn thing, wouldn't stop throwing up for like 45 minutes, nothing but foam, bro. I knew that was gonna happen to him and shit.
Damn.
You can only warn somebody. You can't tell them what exactly is gonna happen because you know it's gonna happen. But I'm like, "Hey, dumb fuck, don't eat that fucking thing."
And that's our homie telling me.
Yeah, bro. And this dude swallowed it, man, and he just was just destroyed his stomach.
I would have been like staying quiet. Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But you were a good homie though, bro.
I mean,
You know
I
what
tried, bro. I gave him a way out, bro. But he didn't want to listen. He wanted that coffee and them soups, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, hey, I mean, I'm sure it was after the little bit of pain, 45 minutes you said, bro. You know what I mean? He had six jars of coffee.
And he had all that coming after he did that shit.
Hey, is the Folgers coffee, bro, stronger than Starbucks?
I guess it depends on what type of roast it is.
What do you think, Looney?
You know, I drink Folgers, I drink Nescafe, and I drink Starbucks, but I couldn't tell you because every time I go to Starbucks, I get like a double or a triple shot, dog. So I wouldn't know. I get lit up right there in
You guys gotta
Starbucks,
hit
bro. I don't play no games right there, bro.
Dutch Bros.
Dutch Bros?
Dutch Bros.
Is that a better coffee? I heard
Hell
somebody
yeah.
was telling me. I think my girl said she went by there. It's better than Starbucks?
Hell yeah. They have their coffee, but they have they're called Rebels. The drinks, it's their Red Bulls. They're like mixed drinks. They're fucking shits.
Oh, mixed drinks? Mixed caffeine?
Yeah.
Caffeinated drinks?
Yeah, like it was
It's like
maybe
a hard soda or something with caffeine.
A couple weeks ago, it was at work. It was at work. One of my bosses, she brought us some of those Rebels. So I drank it and then I told my girl about it. Like, man, those shits were fire. Let's go. They just opened up a Dutch Bros. So we went and we got all our stuff and we took off and I think we're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go take the kids. They've been fucking hounding us for boba tea.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's go find a spot. So we're looking for a spot, found it, and then we're gonna take them to the park and just chill. And so we're driving, and me and her just chopping it up. We're driving, whatever. And then next thing you know, I'm at a red light, and I look around. I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, what? I go, where the fuck are we at? And she was like, what? And I was like, we're supposed to be going to the park. I don't even know where the fuck we're at. I was just on from that drink. And we're just driving, and I was like, well, where the fuck are we at?
Down a sick one. Huh? I'm gonna try it, dog. Dutch Bros, huh?
Dutch Bros.
I heard about that. I've heard about it. I'm an avid coffee drinker. I love coffee, bro.
too.
I would drink coffee all hours of the day, and I'll take the hot coffee at 3:00 in the afternoon. I mean, but I just don't know how to order the iced things. My girl orders the iced coffees.
Yeah,
but-
I get the same shit. I don't think I try. I get the same shit. The the ice espresso.
Okay.
Then I mean during the season, like I said, if it's like
Don't say it.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, or no Thanksgiving, I get the
Don't say it.
the pumpkin spice.
In case you already knew.
I'm a pumpkin spice guy. Yeah.
Sounds good, bro.
Christmas, the peppermint mocha, and that's all I know.
Yeah. So speaking of seasonal things, man, do you like that McRib?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You fuck with the McRib?
The McRib, but they, I mean, I do, but they have it's at Sam's Club. They have a fucking, they have a box of them, and it's just like them.
Oh, wow.
I always buy them. Those shits are fire.
Are they-
Throw them in the
so-
oven,
so-
microwave?
Yeah, just throw them in the microwave. Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
What about filet-o-fish, dudes? It's Lent. You know, if you're Catholic, a lot of people, they've been pushing filet-o-fishes hard in every fast food chain.
Nah.
No, you don't fuck with filet-o-fish?
Nah, I'll eat like a fish. I'll eat like, I mean, on my pad, like salmon or some shit like that. But no, not those sandwiches.
The McDonald's app has me tempted right now.
Nah,
dude.
you know what? I don't eat fish like that. Those filet sandwiches, the breaded ones. It was I was in Victorville, USP, and fucking it was fish day. And we were eating, and that was like one of my favorite shits. I ain't gonna lie, it was one of my favorite shit. And we were eating, and then the homies brought out a tray, like of extra ones. Like here, boom. And then so I grabbed like two more of the patties, and I ate them, and it was like instant food poisoning. Like by the time that shit hit me, by the time I made it back to the unit, like I was fucked up, like for
Shitting
probably,
everywhere.
like 2 weeks, fucked, and couldn't hold down nothing. And ever since then, like I can't eat no type of breaded, like that type of fish. Like shit, it grosses me out. Like if I was to have it in front of me, like that shit'll make me want to throw up.
Bring him in.
A whole tray of fucking fillet fish.
And so let's get a little on track. We're kind of just cruising around on this conversation, man. And I appreciate you guys holding on right here for the homie story right here, and just kind of like cruising with us in a sense. I mean, it is Sunday, right? You know. So you get caught up in this case, bro. You get caught up in a state case.
Yep.
That you're 8 years in the case. And then you get hit with a federal indictment. Can you take us down that journey right there?
Yeah, so I get caught up on a case, get busted. I'm in the county, I'm fighting my case, and So yeah, I'm in the county for probably a couple years, maybe like about 2 years, fighting my case.
Was this for the robbery?
No,
This
was
is
for,
another one.
No, it's for an attempt.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm in the county. I'm doing fighting my case, whatever, and then the shit happens on the streets, and basically what caused our indictment. So, I'm in the county, whatever, and at this time, actually, when all that shit went down, I was in the hole. So I'm in the hole. I get out. I'm supposed to like be in the hole. Then all of a sudden, I'm getting released back to my unit, like to the unit, to my cell and everything. So cops come and get me. They're like, "Oh, you're going back to your cell." So I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, what the fuck?" Taking me out. I walk out. They're taking me across. I'm going back to my cell, and there was a bunch of the hoodas were outside. And as I'm walking out, my head's bald. I have a HG blasted on the back of my head. So as I'm walking out, they see me and I hear them. They say, "Oh look, that fool's from Hawaiian Gardens or whatever." And I was like, I looked back. And then I turned around, I kept walking. And then as I'm walking, like, you get that sixth sense. So, like, all the hairs in the back of my neck just was boom, like, just stood up. And I'm like, fuck. And I just had this feeling, like, this fucked up feeling. And then as I'm walking, it was one of the homies. He was, like, a porter. And he's, like, with this, telling me, like, look, they're fucking, like, they're following you. So I'm like, whatever. So I'm walking to my cell, get all the way to my cell. I'm, like, in the last cell, cell 13. Get to my cell. I go in, the cops come, and they're like, hey, what's your name? So they asked me my name, told them my last name. I said, my name's Adami. They're like, okay, you're going to Wayside. And I'm like, okay, like, whatever, fuck it, And then so the homies that I had in there, they're like, oh, what did they say? Like, oh, they're saying, well, I can't go to Wayside. Like, like the way, because of my case, the way they had me, I couldn't go to, they couldn't put me in certain, like Wayside. I could only, they would only let me have homie cellies. Like, I couldn't. They wouldn't put no in the 6-man cell, 4-man cell, no matter what it was. They wouldn't put no blacks in my cell, no whites, nothing. It was always just homies.
Can you say to the audience why?
Because my case was that I was fighting a hate crime.
Okay, a hate crime.
I was fighting a hate crime case. So
and so you kind of I might have listened slow, that I got a little confused. So you're in the county jail.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in the county jail.
Yeah.
And the deputies are watching you?
They were sweating us over some shit and from the streets. They were sweating us over some stuff from the streets, and supposedly, allegedly at the time that my homie had did. So they're on us. The cops are tripping on us and shit. So,
but I'm talking about inside the system in the county jail. You said they were watching you, and they said, "Oh, he's from Hawaiian Gardens."
Yeah. So whatever had happened on the streets, I didn't know yet because I was in the hole. So I was kind of like secluded. I hadn't been on the phone. Not receiving no mail.
So you're fighting your case,
yeah.
And there's things that are transpiring out in the streets that now the deputies have caught wind of.
Yeah.
And so now that's when they make that comment. Oh, he's one of those guys from Hawaiian Gardens.
Yeah.
So to speak, right?
Yeah. So
okay.
They follow me to my cell and they get my name and they're telling me I'm going to Wayside. So the homie's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "I can't go to Wayside. Like, they can't move me there. They won't." So they were just, because of my case, they were like, I guess, worried that if I went into like a dorm setting or something like that I would crack some shit off because of my case. But it wasn't. I mean, that wasn't the case. It was just some shit happened, got caught up on my case, and because of the who was involved in it, I guess, like, it had to do with some blacks. They just automatically were like, "Oh, take crime." So fucking.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah,
it's just another tool law enforcement uses to fuck minorities over, bro. That's all the law.
Pretty much. And it honestly, like that case was like it was really nothing like that. It was just some straight up some gang shit. That's pretty much it. That's all it was. And so that's how they kind of had me in the county. And so so they come to get my name. They're telling me, "Oh, you're gonna go to Wayside." So I'm like, okay, whatever, fuck it, So then they call Wayside Line. I'm chilling, whatever. I took it serious. So I start packing all my shit. Then boom, they call Wayside Line. They call a few names, and then they're like, okay, that's it. Boom. So they call my name. They rack my door. I go out there. They line us up. I've never been to Wayside, so I didn't know how it went down or their process of how they did it. So they take us out. We go out there, and they're like, "All right, everybody, put your property down." And then they get us against the wall. They pat us down, and then they were like, all right, they handcuff me first, and then they fucking tell everybody, "All right, you guys all go back to your cell." And I was like, "What the fuck?" So all these fools whoever, and they go back to the cell. And then once everybody's gone, just all kinds of cops started coming from all the different floors, and they were fucking deep there right there. And then I'm like, oh fuck, like, you know, I don't know nothing, so I'm like, what the fuck did I do? You know, like, what the fuck? And then so they come and they kind of like press up on me, and they're like, one cop's over here like, where you from? And this other cop's like, what's up, mom? He starts over here talking shit in this ear, and this dude's talking shit, and then I fucking just got frustrated, and I turned around, and this fool's like, where you from? So I tell him, I'm from Hawaiian Gardens. Boom, as soon as I said it, the cop over here hit me, bam, started fucking me up, started beating the shit out of me. They fucking they stomped me out, like to the point where I was out. They fucking laid me out, and I'm handcuffed. So they pepper sprayed me, and I'm just like fucked up. So then they get me, they're trying to get me up, and then they had it was like a lieutenant or something. He comes out of somewhere, like some office or some shit, or out of the bubble. You know, they have the little bubbles in the hallways.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, what the fuck you guys doing, this and that? And then one of the cops, all he had to say, he's like, oh, this fool's from Hawaiian Gardens. And then he's like, oh, what the fuck? Like, why the fuck you doing that out here? So, like, all these dudes could see you, man. Fucking take them somewhere and handle that shit. And I'm like, fuck. In my head, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So these fools pick me up. They pretty much pick me up, and, like, the way they have me handcuffed. They have, like, their, you know, under my arms. And then I'm just, like, my tippy toes. And they're just dragging me across the floor to a unit. Take me to a unit. They put me in the day room. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm like thinking, like, fuck, well, you know, what could I do? Like, you know, like, what the fuck's going on? And the phone, I seen the phones. So I hit the phone off the receiver, and I heard a tone. And I was, like, trying my hardest to, like, call. I was trying to call my mom so that my mom could contact my lawyer, because I had a lawyer. So I'm like, maybe this fool could come down and fucking pull me out, and, you know, kind of like, you know, that'll
figure this shit out.
Yeah, well, that would kind of like, you know, fucking back them off or whatever. So they knocked the phone. I knocked the phone off the receiver, and I'm trying to dial, and one of the cops seen, so they fucking ran in there and boom, rushed me again, started fucking me up. So they pepper spray me again. Then after they're done fucking me up, they get me, pick me up again, and they're taking me. And I don't know like exactly where I'm at, because I'm like pepper sprayed. So I'm just like, you know, here, open my eyes here and there, and I'm trying to look around. And I just know I'm in one of the mods. So they're taking me, and they're taking me to a lower tier. They rack the gate, and I remember I look up, and I seen this guy on the top tier, and he's walking up and down the tier, right? And I recognized him. And so I seen him. I'm like, okay, fucking, like, where the fuck am I at? So they take me all the way to the last cell, take me down there, boom. And the guy, I get down there, and they put me in the cell, and then the guy, after the cop leaves, the guy comes down, and he goes, hey, he knows me. So he's like, hey, Menace, what's up, homie? And I'm like, oh, what's up? And he says his name, and then I'm like, what the fuck? Like, hey, what's your name again? He says his name, his hood, or where he was from or whatever. And then I go, hey, where the fuck am I at, dog? He goes, oh, these fools tried to do me dirty, and they threw me on the fish roll, and then on the top tier was the pesetas.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were trying to, like, throw me over there to, like, you know, these fools could fucking try to do something to me, right?
Yeah.
So they throw me in the, I'm in my cell, and I'm fucking like, fuck, like, what the fuck's going on? You know, like, this is crazy, you know, this is fucking crazy. So it turns chow time, and then there's this dude, he was like the hall, like the porter that cleaned all the whole floor. Like, he would just be on the outside on the floor cleaning the shit. And so he would serve the trays. And on that row, he would serve the trays. On the top, he would just take the trays up there, leave them at the gate, and then they would pop one of them out. He would grab it, and that dude or whoever it was, and they would pass them out to them fools. So he's coming to give me my tray, and he sees me, and it is a white boy, and he's like, when he sees me, he goes, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Hey, fool, like, the homies or they're like, what happened? And they know something. They know that some shit happened with the cops. Like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't know what's going on. Like, these was fucked me up. I was fucked up. They fucking cracked my ribs. Fucking, I had a black eye. Like, I was all fucked up. And so I'm like, they fucked me up, dog. And so he ran me down the whole situation, like what was going on the streets and shit. So I'm like, oh fuck, like, all right.
I think I remember, bro.
Yeah.
How many years ago was this?
That was probably like in
2005.
2005, yeah.
2005. It was 2005.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm thinking. So something happened with one of your homeboys.
Yeah.
And a police officer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they fucking. So he's like town running me down that whole how it happened.
Well, so the audience understands, bro.
Yeah. All right.
So the audience understands what he's saying. So let's put it over here. You want me to kind of break it down in a regular way?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So this is what happens sometimes, my G's, Goonies, all right? You can be fighting a case, you know, you like the homie was fighting his case, and say if you're from a certain section, and say one of your homies from that section gets into a certain type of situation, say with a police officer, and something happens to that police officer, well now, bro,
Yeah.
bro, the Hudas, they're their own gang by themselves, bro. LAP to the deputies to everything. Everybody, every one of your homeboys inside that lockup facilities in LA County Jail is gonna get the blues from the deputies, bro.
Yep.
And so that's what was happening.
Yeah, that is what happened.
Yeah.
That's what was happening to Menace, bro.
Yeah,
like,
so-
and that's why he was like, you know, that's why I was. At first, you didn't know what was going on. I mean, were you putting two and two together?
I didn't know until that dude told me. He ran me down the story what happened. I'm like, you know, and I'm like, fuck, like, all right, so now I know. Okay, this is why this happening. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And then it just so happened that, like, it literally just happened. So I was the first person that they took their aggression out on. You know, so I got it like bad. Like,
Yeah, man.
So like,
I heard they don't do that no more.
Yeah, I heard it got cleaned up, but so these fools were fucking doing me dirty though. They were fucking me up, and then so they had me in that cell, and then so this fool tells me, you know, where he's at or whatever, and I'm just like, all right, whatever, fuck it, I'm done talking to this fool. So he's telling his guys up there, like, oh, this fool down here, this is where he's from. He's active, like, fucking, you know, be on your toes and this and that. And so I'm like, oh shit, all right.
Because
cool.
it's PCs up top.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, cool. But it's like, like I can't get to them, they can't get to me anyways.
Yeah.
So, but just in case for.
Well, you gotta watch out. You don't want someone dropping a dookie on you or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
so for sure.
Fucking
And
fighting
they
dirty.
no, they were trying to do shit like that. They would try to throw shit like from the top. They would try to throw stuff down, you know, because they knew what cell I was in and shit. And then so fucking it was so daily. So I was there for like maybe like a week. They just had me right there by myself, and then daily the cops would come and try to take me out of my cell. But you know they have the jailers. Like they're not actual sheriffs.
Yeah.
So there was the jailer that worked there. It was crazy. So
Jailers are sometimes kind of cool. Some of them.
so this one that was there,
I mean, I've seen a couple jailers that were cool. Go ahead.
I met him. He had like being there for a while. Like he told me one time that he actually grew up in my neighborhood. So his mom grew up in my neighborhood. So as a kid, he kind of grew up there up to like about a teenager. So he knew some of my homies that were his age. And so when all this shit was going on, just so happened by luck, he was the jailer. Mm-hmm. So every time the cops would come to open my cell, rack the gate, he'd be like, fuck no. Like, hell no, I'm not getting caught up in that shit. Fuck you. And he would tell them and they would leave. And then he would and then they would come back, and then just one day it just got to the point where he said, you know what, fucking well, I'm leaving, fuck this shit, like I'm taking off. And basically, like, if you guys open the gate, you open the gate, right? So by that time I had already, you know, we get crafty in our cells and shit, and I, you know, made me a thing. And if I was ready, I was like fucking to the point where it was just like, if they're gonna these fools are gonna try to kill me or some shit. So I was like, that's where my mind was at, like, fuck this shit.
Yeah,
so,
war. You go to
so
war
I
now,
fucking
bro.
I straight up made me a thing.
Like, you ain't cuffing up, bro.
Nah.
Yeah.
And so they made me a thing, and I fucking had that shit and I always had it wrapped in my shower roll, and I would have it on the desk. And so they came one day and they're telling me oh, you're going to shower or whatever. And I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll go to shower. I ain't tripping. So fucking they take me to shower. They're gonna take me to shower, but these fools, they had just took them to the shower. So they were gonna take me and throw me in the shower, like to the wolves, basically. Like, you know. So fucking
the top tier was in the showers.
They had them in the shower, so they took them. So I'm like, in my head, you know, it's like one of those situations. If they send you, and it happens in the pen, when they transfer you, they might transfer you to a fucked up yard, and you can't say no. You're gonna go to the yard. You're gonna do what you got to do, right? So
well, it's like that now.
Yeah. So fucking. So my you know, I know that. So they're like, oh, you're going to shower. I'm like, all right, fuck it, whatever. Boom, boom. They cuff me up, and they're gonna take me to the shower. And as I'm walking out, so before this, at the time in the county, there was this lady. Her name was, I don't know if any of you guys were there at the time. Her name was Sister Patty.
I've heard of Sister Patty.
Okay,
now.
so Sister Patty used to every other week she would call certain people. We go to the chapel and she would just have us watching movies all day.
Yeah.
And so me and my co-defendant my crimey at the time, we would always go. And so during this time while this is all going on with me, and she ran into him, she said, "Hey, what's up with Gennaro? Where is he at?" And he kind of ran it down to her. So, but I don't know, we don't know where he's at. So she went, I guess, and got with the OSJs, the gang units in the county.
Yeah.
And I guess she told them like the situation. So they went looking for me. So, and it just so happened that day they're taking me to the shower. I walk out. Well, they're walking me out, and as I get to the hallway, to the hallway, fucking there's these two sheriffs that always see me around while I was fighting, the time that I had been in the county. And so they said, "Hey," so one of them puts his hand on my chest and he stops the hoot on. He says, "Hey, what the fuck you doing?" He's, "Oh, he's going to shower." And he's like, No, he's not. And then fucking they're like, "No, he's going to shower." And then the cop looks at me like, "You going?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was like, so he's confused, like, what the fuck, So then they start walking me, and then as I'm walking, boom, Sister Patty comes around the corner. She comes out from the escalator, and she see me, and she's like, "Gennaro." And I turned around, and then the OSJ said, "Hey, stop!" And they put him against the fucking wall. So they put me against the wall. They started searching me. Cop grabs the shower roll, boom, fucking unfolds it, and that shit falls out. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
And he looked at the cops like, "Oh, you fools are stupid motherfuckers. You were gonna put him in the shower right now?" Like, and they were like, "Oh, you're dumb. You fools are stupid motherfuckers." And then and on top of that, I wasn't even supposed to be I was supposed to be in the gang module. I wasn't supposed to be on the main line. Yeah. But I just slipped through on that time going through processing, and I made it to the main line. So they were like, one, this fool's not even supposed to be on the main line. He's supposed to be slammed in the gang module. And two, you motherfuckers were gonna throw him in there, and boom.
They're gonna throw you in with a bunch of PCs.
Yeah, and I had a piece.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Fucking, you fools are fucking dumb." So fucking that saved me from that situation, and not just that, it's crazy. It was I was telling my mom this story one time, but I never told her that before that happened, before they were taking him out to the shower, I wrote her a letter. Like basically telling her like
what's happening with you.
No, not telling her what happened. Kind of like my piece, like bye.
Oh shit, like that.
Because something could have happened to me. Like
Yeah.
these dudes were gonna kill me. Like and luckily that letter never made it out, because that shit probably would have been like.
Oh, so it never did. You never did get it out.
I never sent it out, but I actually sat there and wrote a letter, like.
You ready to go because you the way they were doing you.
I was like,
you figured you were at the end of end of your line.
Yep.
The end of your existence.
Yep. Luckily that letter, it never made it to my mom.
Well, I'm glad that it didn't make it to your mom, and I'm glad that Sister Patty intervened, and I'm glad that there was some competent officers right there, bro, to stop that from happening to you and to happening to those other dudes as well. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Wow, bro. I apologize for fucking all the small talk, bro. And we kind of like took a minute to get into this story, bro. Which is very, very interesting, brother. You know what I mean? And then people don't understand what you went through, man. People don't understand that. That's some serious shit, man. When you're when the people that are supposed to, these deputies, right? I mean, they're in charge of making sure people are safe in there somewhat. I mean, it is LA County Jail, right? You know what I mean? And when we go to jail, we ain't expecting none of that shit either, because we playing the game, right? No crybabies, just like you. You weren't crying, you know what I mean? They said, "You going to the shower?" You said, "Yeah, I'm going to the shower." You know what I mean? You knew where you're going, you know what I mean? You potentially might have been going to your demise, you know what I mean? That's tough, bro. You know what I mean? And you went through that, man, and you got through that, And so, what did they take you from there?
And they didn't even take me to the gang module. I was supposed to be in the gang module. They took me to the 3,000. I was on the 2,000 floor. So from there, I went to the 3,000. And I was just there for like about maybe like a month. And almost another situation like that happened with the cops, where at the time they were having blackouts in the county, like the power would go out or whatever. And so. On this day, it was one of those situations. Power goes out, and we're chilling in the cell, and one of the cops come to the tier, and they'll flash lights. "Hey, everybody okay?" or whatever. They'll come check up on everybody. And there was a homie. I'm not gonna say where he was from or nothing, but this fool was a straight douche. This fool fucking cops. "Hey, everybody all right?" And then this fool yelled out, yeah, fuck you, it's Hawaiian Gardens. And I'm like, oh, this motherfucker.
But was he from Hawaiian Gardens?
Hell nah, no, he wasn't.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what the fuck? And he's like, what are you tripping for, man? Fuck you, fool, you're a bitch. I was like, watch, fucking watch, all right? Cops come, they fucking came deep as fuck, searched the whole tier until they found me.
Yeah, looking for the dude from Hawaiian Gardens. They for sure said that.
Yeah, they fucking snatched, and because of that fool, they fucking snatched me up, boom, gang module, and that was it. Slam down. And then even right there, they had the hole. So they had the hole right there. It was a Denver roll. So they had us on Denver roll. And they had at the time it was me, my crimey was my homie Lenny.
In the gang module.
Yeah, and then my homie Tweety, rest in peace.
What floor was that?
On the 3000 floor.
Okay, because I was in the gang module when they had 3400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6-man
Yes.
cells.
No. It was These were single cells. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's
it
when
was
that was after.
Yeah, it went across.
when they changed it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, when they because those 6-man cells were vicious.
Yeah, it was dangerous, bro.
Oh shit! I was there on a parole violation, my dog. Man, I mean, that shit was vicious. I can't even share the stories of that. What's happening right there? It's nuts, bro.
So they threw us. They had us there, and they weren't giving us our mail. We weren't allowed to get visits, like nothing. So they still were. We were still getting the fucked up treatment. It's just in the gang module, the cops don't. They would not fuck with the homies at all. Like they knew not to fuck with us there. So they had us. They just had us slammed in the hole, and so it just so happened one day. I think they had like a new lieutenant or something for that floor or something. He was walking the tier. He wanted to walk to see how they had everybody housed there. And as he's walking through, boom, he walks through and he hits my cell, and he looks at me and he goes, "Oh shit, what's up, Menace?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then he goes, "You don't remember me?" And I'm like, "No." And he was like, "Oh, he used to patrol my neighborhood. So he used to be a cop on the streets. He used to be a gang unit in my hood."
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I still didn't remember. I'm like, "Nah, I don't remember you." He goes like, oh, "Okay." He's like, "Oh, so how are they treating you guys right here?" And I'm like whatever, like, I don't know. We're slammed down, we're chilling. And then he started asking us like, "Oh, how long you been right here?" And I'm like, in the gang module, he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "No, how long you been in the hole? What are you in the hole for?" I'm like, "For nothing. They just have me right here. That's where they put me at." And he's like, "You didn't do nothing?" I'm like, "Nah, I didn't do shit. I went from the main line to the hole." And he was like, "What the fuck?" And he was like, "How long you been right here?" I was like, probably like 6 months. And then he seen my other homie, rest in peace, my homie Tweety, and he asked him the same thing. And then my other homie, and he goes, I think my homie Tweety had been there for like a whole year at the time. And then my crimey, he went there a little bit before me, so probably like 8 or 9 months. So he goes, "Oh, don't trip, man. I'm gonna get you guys out of here." And so fucking sure enough, within like a couple hours, boom, shot us to Charlie Roll, to the other side, on the other side of the wall. He shot us to Charlie Roll and got us up out of there.
Which was they had program right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like 4
One-
or 6-man cells or something.
No, it's the whole, at this time, that whole gang module was just all single cell.
Okay.
Yeah, so they let you out one at a time for an hour.
So, but he got you to a different row
Where I was able to use the phone, shower, fucking.
But it was still gang module.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. Damn, bro, that's fucking.
And it was crazy, and it was kind of even like if they were holding us back from like getting transferred to the pen, because we already had our time. Me and my crimey were already sentenced and everything.
They were holding you back?
Yeah, because like literally it went over there, and within like a couple days, boom, they shot me out to Delano to reception.
So they had a little hold on you then.
Yeah, it was like, yeah.
They were trying to have a little more.
That's how I felt, because it was like, fucking, that's crazy. Like, boom, as soon as we got out the hole, within like a couple days, boom, they shoot me to the pen. So that's not my time.
So, well, good thing you seen that officer. You know what I mean, and he was able to, give you guys a little bit of pull. You know what I mean, which happens like that sometimes. You know what I mean. There's a few good officers that that look out and do solids like that. You know what I mean. And so you how much time were you sentenced?
So ended up getting,
For that right there.
for the state case, I ended up getting 13 years.
13 years. So
Yeah.
now you're off to the penitentiary. You said you go to
Yeah.
Delano, 13 years. I mean, how you feeling with that 13 years, bro? You're like,
Honestly, I was pretty happy with it.
you're happy with the time
yeah,
you got.
we're facing a lot of time. Like I think my first deal, and it was crazy because my co-defendant, I left it like in his hands, kind of like, I guess my life in his hands. Like, I was just like, if you're not happy with the deal, we won't take it. Like, you know, whatever, however you want to do it. So they offered us a couple deals. It went from, it was, I think they were offering him, I think like 18 or 19 years. And then me, it was like 20, I think it was like 23 or 24. And then we shot it down. And then it went from 22 for me, 17 for him. And he was like, nah. And then I just kind of like told him like, hey bro, like we need to take this shit serious. Like, yeah, you know, you see all these dudes in here, they think just because they're offering them deals, they got shots at beating their cases, and the next thing you know, they're fucking washed up. So
yeah,
you know, we need to fucking, you know, we need to accept the fact that we're not getting out. So like, what are we gonna do? So finally, they came to, I think we were gonna they were gonna was the pretrial, and then he was like, after this, that's it. Like it's gonna be jury, and then fucking you're gonna start fighting your case. And so you're gonna start fighting your case. So I'm like, all right, cool. So fucking lawyer came one last time, and he just said, all right. He's like 13 and 10, and I looked at my crime like, fuck, you know, like what's up? And he was just like, you know, fucking, fuck it, all right, let's do it. So we signed our deal, and that was it. Went on our ways.
On your ways, man. So you're doing your time. You're happy about the time you get. You know, 13 years. I mean, sometimes, you know, some people wouldn't understand what that feels like to be happy with 13 years in comparison.
Yeah. Especially being in the gang module, dude. There's the homies in there were fucking waiting to go life. Some fools are fighting death cases, and you know, so to get 13 years, you know, was like, hell yeah, shit. I could be one of them.
Bro, I'm telling you, back what I was saying a little minute ago, I was in the gang module on a pro violation.
Yeah.
Bro, I was in the gang module on a pro violation. All my cellies, bro. All my cellies were fighting life. Yeah. Dude next door, fighting the death penalty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, they were trying to get life. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm there on a pro violation, homie. I've never felt more out of place in my motherfucking life. Bro. Straight the fuck up, dog. You know what I mean? You don't even want to. Hey, what you got? What you fighting on? Bro, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry. Nothing serious, my G. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember the day we came back from sentencing, get back to our cell, and I remember one of the homies, oh, what happened? How much time do you guys get? Like we told him, and then how do you guys feel? And I was just like, didn't even have. I told him, I'm happy, shit. You know, because all these dudes are, you know, they don't want to hear your sob story. They're, you know, fucking, oh man, you know, fucking 13 years, and, you know, these fools are fucking fighting the death penalty and life, and you got a chance.
It's such a strange existence, bro. Or it's a strange life, bro, to be at a place in your life where you're happy with 10 or 13 years. You know, like on the rails, bro.
Yeah.
What are we really doing, you know?
Yeah, it could have been worse. You know, my lawyer, I had a good lawyer. Like he, so, you know, when we get busted, we end up, you know, in Superior Court, we end up in Norwalk Court. Mm-hmm. So my lawyer was able to bound me over to CCB instead of Norwalk.
CCB's a shit, bro.
Yeah, because he said he told me, he was like, I'm gonna try to get you bounded over to CCB.
You got lucky on that.
I can't do nothing for Norwalk Court.
Like, I heard nothing but bad things about Norwalk. What did they say? Norwalk.
Norwalk.
So that's what happened with us. We ended up they ended up taking our case to CCB. Yeah. So that's basically
CCB show love, bro.
Hell yeah.
I've had so much love. I had so many DA rejects out of CCB. I really, really got a lot of love for CCB, man. And to be, because you hear about these other court buildings, man. Yeah. You know, and you're just like, man, thank God
And I think even Norwalk has that plaque when you go in, and it says hate crimes are punishable by death penalty. Boom. Like they have that shit plaqued, you know? So that's the first thing that went through my head. Fuck, I'm fucked. Well, I'm not gonna get the death penalty, but I'm probably never gonna get out, you know? Yeah. So I was pretty blessed not to be able to not go to that court.
Thank you, Green Eyes. I appreciate you. Yes, hit the likes up, my dogs. Hit the likes up, please. Boss gang, we're not gonna be asking nothing about no GBG, homie. You better stop it, bro. And thank you, Green Eyes. And if you guys would like to please, more donations are a beautiful thing for this platform right here.
No, when he said that,
Super chats.
That shit reminded me of some other dude's fucking
Bring out the
podcaster.
beer.
He was just fucking. He was talking about some dumb shit like that.
GBG? Yeah. Is there such thing as GBG? Is it gay boy gangsters or something like that?
It's a
guess.
prison gang, maybe.
Is it a prison gang?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think Casey might be from that prison gang. Well, he's the head of GBG. Look at that little man with the little hat.
No, dude, no.
So for sure got the GBG outfit.
He's lying, bro.
That shit, fool. It's the head of GBG right there.
Lucky's GBG.
Boss
You want to pay some bills real quick, Lucky?
Yeah, let's pay some bills. Let's pay some bills, and we're gonna be right back. And we're just getting into this, baby. We're just getting into this. Yeah, let me pay these bills. Take a quick break, my dog. Use the restroom if you have to. Whatever. Okay, let's do this. Bob, let me turn that off. Let me leave Casey. Casey there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Grizzly. There it goes. Grizzly Tattoos is in Fresno. Homie, Cruiser is the one that did my Los Angeles side of the head. He's originally from Pomona. He came down here and he blessed me with the tattoo, man. A lot of love to the homie Cruz. But yeah, if you're in Fresno, man, tap in with Grizzly Tattoos. And also too, if you're in the IE, Colton, tap in with Loyalty Inc. Shout out to my boy Greg. And a lot of love, man. A lot of love. There's a lot of love, dog. And I want to shout out to all the homies that are behind bars doing your time. Nothing but love and respect. Keep your head up. And yeah, man. I was talking to my homeboy Bugsy, Sammy Garcia today. Good dude, man. I've known the dude. He's been gone. He's doing life. But he's just he's got so many things going on right now that he's getting ready, hoping to get out from his life sentence. And he really, really want to do good within the community, man. A lot of love. I've had a couple calls from the system today, man. And sometimes those phone calls, just make you thank God for your freedom, make you value your life, because these men are behind bars and they've been gone for a lot of years, And to this day, man, some of the proceeds that coming through hood stocks, hey, I look out for a lot of the fellas that are doing time. Sent about 3 different people, and I'm not trying to, big myself up, but I'm just saying I show love, bro, because I know how it is to be locked up and to be without, man. There's months that I'd have only $20 a month, so if I can pay it forward, man, and if I can just just show love. That's it, man. You got to show love. You want love, you got to show love, dog. I don't want to be long-winded about it, but sometimes people are like, man, I ain't getting no love. What's going on? Well, you got to show love to get love, bro. But when I ever send anybody anything, bro, it's just out of the kindness of my heart. There's no strings attached, man. I don't expect nothing in return, I don't get nothing out of it, but to know that, hey, man, I helped the brother out. You know what I mean? And I know this month he's going to eat good, bro. Hood Stocks is brought to you by Shockaware. More than streetwear, it's culture, lifestyle, individuality, and self-expression through clothes, all right? You can go to shockaware.com. Shockaware.com. Use Hoodstocks15. Get you 15% off. Shockaware.com. Looking for some good quality cannabis? Quality cannabis. Hit the folks at Killakush. They specialize in bringing the best quality available from OG to exotic.
They got it all, baby.
I want you to guys go to Instagram, killakush.Los Angeles. Follow them on Instagram. Killakush is our #1 sponsor, man. They've been rocking with us since day one. Salute to Killakush, man. And if you really want to support them, pull up to Drip Fits Apparel in Whittier for the latest Killakush merch drops. And they're located at 13800 Leffingwell Road in Whittier, all right? We're also sponsored by my dog Ozempic Vince, all right? You want to raise up, you want to get on swole, you need some little TRT replacement, you need the Ozempic, anything to get skinny, you know what I mean? He's got it all for you, you know what I mean? He's got it all for you. Here's his direct phone number, 714-269-1900. Hey, calling all bakers and chefs. Upgrade your kitchen with Origin Bakery and Restaurant Equipment. Top quality ovens, mixers, and more at unbeatable prices. Perfect for your next culinary creation. Visit Origin today in South Omani or check them out online. Origin Bakery Equipment. That phone number is 626-579-3580. Hey, you guys ready to get a crib? You ready to get a crib? All right, you don't know if you can qualify for a crib. You want to get out the apartment. You want to get out that tent. You want to get out that back seat of the truck. Sometimes people make sacrifices and they save their money up for the big move, the big dog move. You ready to get a house? I want you to call Andrew. You know what I mean? And check it out. Here's his number, 626-825-6565. 626-825-6565. Call him up. And he's going to let you know if you qualify for a house, and that's just free. All right, free of charge, bro, to find out if you qualify for a house. Hey, you ready to get some custom jewelry? You ready to get some wholesale prices on gold, silver, diamonds? Call D. Leo the Jeweler. His phone number is 323-899-0001. Well, sponsored by Rottweiler Mafia, the best Rottweiler breed in the United States. You ready for a Rottweiler puppy? Smart, intelligent, fucking just physique like a motherfucking beast. 424-666-9929. Hey, got yourself in a little bit of trouble. Sometimes people get themselves a little bit of trouble. Why? Because they're just making irresponsible moves, or sometimes shit just happens. And you got to cross that bridge. You need a good attorney. And everybody's like, oh, I got a good attorney. I got a good attorney. I know somebody that got this guy out for a murder case and whoop-de-whoop-whoop. You know what I mean? Well, check it out. I actually have the greatest attorney in the city of Los Angeles. His name is Doug Sherrod. And if you'd like to contact him, KingKongLawyer.com, KingKongLawyer.com. And we are now back with the bro, Menace. Let's go. Hey, so, yeah, there you go. Matter of fact, Casey, talk to him real quick. I got to.
Menace, how'd you get your name?
My brother, my older brother. So my older brother was Big Menace, and then there was actually another Menace, Little Menace, and I just felt like that should be my name, so I took it, and that's how I became Menace.
That's dope. Keeping the fam, yeah.
Yep.
That's hard. So, I guess maybe we won't continue the story until Lucky comes back, but I guess we could tangent a little bit on Hawaiian Gardens. Yep. And how it is over there. So I know you guys were talking about how it used to be like rural. Yeah. Right. And versus now, how do you think it is now?
Now, man, it's fucked up. It's like that whole shit we went through, like that indictment. You know, starting from the gang injunction, they did a gang injunction. And starting from that to that indictment, like just fucked everything up. Like it's. It's not the same.
Yeah.
What do you think, Looney?
I just think that just over the course of decades of just seeing the cycle of events that transpired in the city, you know, from going to seeing the neighborhood at peace during different times, you know, and everybody making money. It just is a sad situation that after decades of continuous cycles of just no good thing, you know, that it's just a waste of good talent, you know, on both sides of the fence, whether somebody's doing a life sentence for a crime or somebody's in a casket for a crime. It's just all a huge waste of talent in my perspective, because it's not even an opinion anymore. It's just a perspective from seeing it, and the cycle just continue to go on, and it's does no good thing for anybody in anybody's community that is caught in cycles of violence. You know, it just is painful. You know, that's all I can reiterate about that. You know, I can't speak too much about it, but that is the truth about the situation. It's a sad situation, you know.
Hey man, Geronimo just said Looney sound like a lawyer. He does, my boy sharp, man. Looney's gonna be sitting right here on the side for a cool minute, man. We got some things in the mix, right, Looney?
No, you know we do, bro. Yeah. We got people on the roster, bro.
We got people on the roster, and Looney's gonna be sitting on the co-host position for those for guests, and I thank you so much,
my
dog.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate being here with you, brother. I love you, bro.
Likewise, I love you too, dog. And shout out to NC for that $50, my dog. That's a a lot of love, bro. Appreciate you so much, homie. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Lots of love to you guys, man. I salute you guys, man. You guys are the shit. You guys are the shiznit, man. We ain't shit without you guys, man. And I'm glad that some of you guys are coming back, you know what I mean? I know we are just like, we're getting into topics that we shouldn't even be getting into at one point with the platform. I mean, it's cool to talk about them, but I just hate when you have a topic that divides people, like politics and certain things, dog. Because at the end of the day, bro, like, fuck politics, bro. Because when you look at when you right here on these streets, bro, and you look from side to side, dog, you don't see none of them motherfuckers. We see us, bro. We see us, and we all that we got, dog. You know what I mean?
True.
And sometimes, you know, it is true, bro. There's so much truth to that, bro. We can sit here and we can debate and we can this and that, but at the end of the day, is all we have is each other, bro. Yeah. So we in our communities, we just gotta figure it out, you know, and we gotta work with each other, you know, and you know, sometimes
uplift each other instead of bringing each other down.
100%, brother. That's all I've ever wanted to do with this platform. That's all I ever wanted to do. Is make motherfuckers feel worthy that, hey, you know what? You can share your story. You can share your journey within the lines. You feel me? Because the streets are watching and the agencies are watching, bro. You know what I mean? And let's be real. You know what I mean? I don't want to be pissing off neither side, because there's different types of repercussions that we don't got to get into. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you know, it's just being respectful, sharing your story respectfully, you know, and it is your story. You know what I mean? And you can share it accordingly, you know what I mean? Staying within the guidelines, you know? Because, you know, we're real people out here with real names within these communities. We're not just like some fake, weird white dude that's got a number at his end of his name, you know what I mean? You know, they can disappear in a fucking snap of the fingers, you know?
In his white-topias.
You know, just blast off in his motherfucking Tesla Air, meet George Jetson. Daughter, Judy. You ever watch the cartoon The Jetsons?
Yeah, the Jetsons.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one remembers that shit, dog.
I know you don't remember that. You too young, baby boy. Them cheeks are too tight still, man. Shit, man. When you just look at him, bro, does that cross your mind? Like, man, that boy's probably got some tight cheeks.
No, Lucky, no one else is gay in this damn room except for you.
I like fucking around like that. It's just it's like locker room shit, you know what I mean? You know?
I can't wait to go to the gym with Lucky.
Yeah, we got gym memberships, bro. What? Shout out to LA Fitness, homie. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got gym memberships. We got free gym memberships. Yeah. Looney, do you have a membership?
Yeah, I have a membership.
Oh, of course you do, sir.
To LA Fitness?
Of course you do.
No?
He's like...
To my backyard.
I need to get back on it.
Do you not have a membership?
No, I don't have a membership. I don't need a membership. I have everything that I need.
Well, you know what? You're a very humble guy,
I'm my
bro.
own personal trainer, you know.
Yes. You look nice and fit, bro.
Well, I'm a working man, just like you know. So
well, yeah, but look at I'm out of fucking shape, bro.
Yeah, just work strength.
You just couldn't wait to put the camera on me, huh, motherfucker? I was like, I'm out of shape, but he was just like, he was just trying to put the motherfucker.
I was like, oh my god, wait.
Motherfucker,
I forgot which one was Lucky's.
Shout out to Grizzly Tattoos, man. Look at the hoodie, bro. I feel bad, bro, because I know the boys from Hawaiian Gardens were pulling up, and I wanted to look sharp, you know what I mean? Because, you know, you representing, baby, you know what I mean? And every time I see Looney, that fool's sharper than a motherfucker, dog. You know, he always got a crispy, brand new T-shirt on, bro. You feel me? And he's got a nice shave, you know what I mean? You know, he smells like fucking Old Spice. I don't know what's up with that, bro. He's old school, bro. I think it's just naturally comes out of his glands. So
if he had hair, he'd be wearing 3 flowers.
Oh, 100%, bro. 100%. I like Looney, man. He got like
Thank you,
he got class, bro.
Thank you,
there was a homie from your neighborhood. I told him about Snoopy, bro. Snoopy tatted on
Big
me.
Snoop.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Rest in
Snoopy
peace.
put HOP right here. He put the Ganga right here. Years ago, bro. Years ago. Snoopy was cool. He had a big old nose and shit, bro.
Yeah,
he was cool as fuck, though, bro.
Yeah,
but that
like,
fool was yoked too, bro.
Yeah, Robert Toffert. That's
fucking
his name.
big ass hands on.
Yeah, bro. That fool was yoked, dog. That was my dog right there. fire.
Yeah,
fuck with
I think
Snoop.
my first tattoo on my head was Snoopy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first tattoo on my head.
I mean, was he a cool dude too from your hood?
Oh yeah.
Because I know he was a cool dude from the penitentiary, bro.
Yeah,
No, yeah, he was.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and usually sometimes you're like, he's probably.
Yeah, that's the homie.
Yeah. Let's get back on track. So, you're in 8 years of this. Apologize, brother. Well, you direct me on how we navigate through your story. You're in 8 years, and then you get the federal indictment.
Yep.
I mean, how do we connect from you going to the county jail to that part?
So
and connect it however you'd like to connect it.
Yeah, so from the county, they take me to state. I hit state. I would say just a bad luck, but like it just so happened like every spot that I hit, I ended up fucking. It was I started off on 4 yards, so it was just like 4 yards of cracking. So every spot I went to, that shit was locked down. I ended up getting caught up in shit in and out of the hole. Then I landed in Kern Valley. So Kern Valley at the time was relatively new. So
You talking about the new 4 yard they had built?
Yeah. So I ended up there, and that spot was locked down. So I walked into a lockdown, and so I was pretty young at the time still too. So so my first yard there, go to yard, shit cracks off. We go back on lockdown, and then we like pretty much like. It was just going down in that whole prison like every yard. So the whole prison would just stay slammed down. And then one day they kind of cracked the door like a quarter, and then the cop was like, Adami, and I'm like, what's up? He's like, hey, pack up your shit, you're getting transferred. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like how am I getting transferred? And I'm like, all right, whatever. So fucking packing my shit, and I'm tripping like, damn. Counselor comes and he's like, yeah, you're transferring out. Pack up your shit. And I'm like, where am I going? He was like, you're going to Wasco. I'm like, what the fuck? You're sending me to a 3 yard on Wasco? Like, I'm like, man. I'm like, I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm packing my shit, and I'm just tripping. Like, that's a odd place to go to. Like, out of all the fucking spots in California, they're sending me to Wasco. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Pack my shit, take me to R&R. I get to R&R, and they have me in the holding tank. And then they had this guy. He's just like fucking... it looks like a cop from the streets, So I'm paying attention to him. I'm like, damn, he don't work in here. So I'm like, who the fuck is this fool? When he walked into the cage, I'm the only person in the cage. So it kind of like raised the red flag for me too, that I'm the only person getting transferred. So fucking this fool walks up to me and he's like, your name's Gennaro Adami? I'm like, yeah. And he's looking at a paper and then he had one of the CO with him. He goes, yeah, that's him. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And he was like, oh, you're going to court. You've been indicted. I'm like, indicted? Like, and for that whole thing, that's what had, like, I was so, I had so much animosity and so much, like, anger and fucking because of that whole shit, because I didn't even know what indictment meant. Like that, you know what I mean? It was just like, you're indicted. I don't even know what that means. Like I'm not that I'm just a fucking street level gang member. Like, why, like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, you're not 100%. I
mean?
feel
I'm
what
like,
you're saying. Yeah.
So I'm like looking.
I'm a small fry.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this dude.
Not a small fry, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this dude like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
So they take me to Wasco. Boom. Then they from there I hit Chino, and then didn't I run into you, Looney? With the homie, huh?
Yeah, when we were fighting.
Yeah,
when we were fighting our case.
Yeah, we were. I think we were getting transferred.
Yeah. Okay. So what he's talking about is like, so half of our case we had like 57 co-defendants, 57 I think it was. So half of us were already in the state for arrested for stuff prior to the indictment. So what the federal government did is they recharged us for all the crimes that we had already committed in the state, which we all thought was double jeopardy, and which isn't, because it's a federal jurisdiction. It's different than a state jurisdiction according to them. So you're getting charged for the same crime, right? So they did half the people on our case like that. They just brought all of us down and threw us all in Chino, and then we all linked up over San Bernardino. Is that where we were
CDC,
at? Yeah, so we all ended up in San Bernardino, and then they started shooting us to everywhere, to LA, Orange County, and to some place out in what was that called? City. It was called some city.
California City.
California City. You know,
okay,
so they had everybody broken up, everybody and sent everybody, and then we started fighting that case for like most of us 2 years. You know, and then there was some people that were still fighting their case later on, for years later after that. You know, they didn't resolve their case till later on, but yeah, that's what happened with us. They brought us all down, charged us, and then you know, it's like they like try to make a story out of, they try to make something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's just basically just fending for themselves, trying to eat, take care of their family. But the federal government's like, oh no, you guys are all in cooperation with each other, all working together and
all in cahoots,
in sync, and everything that he does is you're responsible for, and everything that you do he's responsible for also. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they lock you in on RICO cases, because the predicates have to be there for RICO. So you have to have like extortion, murder. You have to have 3 predicates for a RICO act. And so, you know, they bring us all down, and they'd be like, well, he did this, so that's one of the predicates. You did this, and that's another predicate, and then he did that over there, so that's another predicate. So now all you guys got the same tattoo on. You all got a punchy tattoo on you, so you all got RICO. You know what I'm saying? So it's just some bullshit that they slap on us for something that they made for organized crime way back in the day, bro, because they couldn't touch Al Capone. You know what I'm saying? So they're applying these laws to like street level minorities. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it was just a dog and pony show. In my view of the situation that we went through, it was just a big dog and pony show, bringing us down for crimes that we already did, and then trying to say like, okay, well, you're going to get the same amount of time, but you're going to get this enhancement with it. So the state didn't give you this enhancement, so now we're going to hit you with this enhancement to make sure that your 12 years now turns into 17 years, you know, with this 5-year enhancement. So they were booking all of us like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? So we did a decade and a half or a decade, you know, pretty much the majority of us on that case, you know. But yeah, that's how they did us on that.
Yeah, so
That's interesting, man.
Yeah, so
I like the way Looney broke that down.
Yeah, so I ended up in Chino, then from there CDC, and funny story though, I ran into my brother, so it was crazy. So,
this is your brother,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's my brother. So we hadn't seen each other for about how long? About like maybe like 10 years. Yeah. We hadn't seen, because he got busted before me. So it was about 10 years we hadn't seen.
Wait, this is your older brother?
My little brother.
Your little brother, and then you got an older brother.
Yeah.
Okay, your blood brother.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
And my bad, I think we went through that already too. But I was like, oh shit, this is the older brother from the story.
Brother.
Okay, older brother. Yeah.
I'm the little big brother.
Yeah. He's a big dude, bro.
Yeah.
Is he bigger than you?
I take care of him. The younger brother takes care of him.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's my bodyguard right there.
Yeah, he looks like a bodyguard, bro. I might want to hire that guy, man. He looks dangerous, bro.
So I run into him, and we hadn't seen each other like in about like 10 years, and like I say, he was busted before me. So we're right there. You get to CDC, you go through the whole process just like the county, and then at some point, if you're there for like around, I guess, chow time, they just shoot you to the chow. So I'm going to the chow hall, and we walk in, and I was with my homie Bird. So we're going through the chow hall, and I see somebody looking at me, and it was him, but he's looking at me, and I'm like, you know, I've never been busted in another county, so in my head, like, these fools are tripping on me because I'm from LA. Like, they're gonna be tripping, they're gonna be acting up, you know. So I fucking going through, and I see this dude, and he's smiling at me, and I'm like, and I tell my homie like, hey fool, you see that fool? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, and he's saying what's up, and I'm like, what's up? But like, I'm tripping. So sit down, and then so he I guess one of the hoodas right there came back, and he's looking at all our IDs, and he sees mine. He goes, hey, you're a Dami? I'm like, yeah. He's like, hey, when you go when you're done with child, go back to classification, because they already told me where I was gonna get housed and everything. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, you're going back to classification. So I'm like, fuck, because when I was going through there before they classified me, they have your whole history, so they knew that in my county that I get slammed down. So they're basically were kind of like, should we let this guy to the mainland or should we slam him down? So they had just told me like, we're gonna send you, we're gonna send you to the mainland. So the spot I was going to was called H South. So that we're gonna send you there. But if anything happens, we're snatching you up.
What county jail is this again? I'm sorry.
San Bernardino.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So he's like, you're going to H South, and I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking that when he says go back to classification, I'm thinking like, oh, these motherfuckers changed their mind. They're gonna slam me down. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm going back, walking. He tells me what cage to go to. I walk in, and he's sitting there, and I'm like, damn, this is this motherfucker that was tripping. Like, what the fuck? So I sit down, and this one goes.
I'm fucking with him. So I know he wasn't gonna recognize me.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Then plus he was all tatted up, and he didn't have tattoos like that. So.
But this is your blood brother.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I didn't
And
recognize
you didn't recognize
him. No, bro, I did not recognize him. Yeah.
And now you come to a point where you're like, this one doesn't recognize you. You know this.
Yeah.
So you're going with it.
Yeah, so I go in there and I'm like, what's up? And then he was like, he started laughing. And when he laughed, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I knew who
It tripped you the fuck out.
Yeah, like I knew who it was. I was
Yeah.
like, he's like, fuck, we didn't recognize me. And I'm like, nah, like, damn, that's crazy. Like, it was cool though, too. They left us there for hours, huh? They was there for, like pretty much all night. They just let us chop it up, just kick it.
Because they knew you guys were brothers.
Yeah.
When I was there, they told us like, hey, whatever happening in LA County with you guys, we're not on that trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
We're fucking with you guys. Like,
That's what's up, bro.
whatever,
And
It
so
is.
you were out there fighting. You were on that indictment too?
you know? Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're there for the indictment.
yeah. I got pulled over state too. I was doing time.
Oh, snap. Damn.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
same
so
story, bro.
yeah, it was crazy, and it was a trip too that he says that about the hoot house, because when me and my homie first got there, you walk through the metal detector or whatever, and I remember I was walking through, and a cop he seen the tat on my head, and he goes, hey you, and I just kept walking. He goes, hey, and he walks to me, he's like, hey, you're from Hawaiian Gardens, and I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh man, you got a gang of homies right here, and this and that, and I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like, yeah, I was like,
That's not the greeting I was getting at the other
yeah, I'm
county
like,
jail.
oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, your homies are everywhere, man. Wherever they put you, you're gonna be with your homies. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, hell yeah.
Damn, that
Yeah.
sounds like a fucking nice fucking county jail, sir.
Nah, yeah, that shit was pretty. It was chill, huh?
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, that shit was chill.
San
I
Bernardino
liked
County
it.
Jail?
Yeah, it was
CDC,
cool,
it's
bro.
called CDC.
Yeah, it's cool.
That shit was chill.
It
Yeah.
is, bro.
Homies from IE were showing love.
Yeah, no, the
Of
homies out there were
course.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to the
That shit
homies
was
from
good.
IE, baby.
IE, OC, San Diego, shout out to
I mean, they
all
had
of them.
because they were doing indictments on everybody, so they had
Yeah, bro.
there was from everywhere there. It was crazy.
That's scary though, huh? Indictments.
Hell yeah.
I
Yeah,
said
man.
I said the other day, bro, that the real boogeyman in the hood is the feds, bro.
Oh, yeah,
Because
bro.
when the
Yeah.
feds pop
Oh,
up, bro,
yeah, bro.
that's the real boogeyman, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want no problems with them feds, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want no problems with no like law enforcement at this point in my life, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I might
Not
do
at
this
all.
hood. I might do this hood podcast, bro. But I live a real fucking like I don't even jaywalk, homie. You know what I mean?
It's legal now.
It's legal now.
Yeah.
All right. I jaywalked last week.
Yeah, they can't. They can't. I don't think they could fuck with you for it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I say that in the sense of just like
Yeah, no, I know.
I just like, bro,
Yeah.
I'm a fucking tax-paying fucking father, dog. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's
I never thought I would be
So was Scarface.
paying taxes either. Like that.
and so you get there, you see your brother, they let you just chop it up with your bro. How long hadn't you seen your brother?
Probably like 10 years. About 10 years. Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, because you'd been down already 8, right?
Yeah. So like it was crazy to the day actually when I first got busted when I hit the county. I think the day that I hit the county, he went to the pen. So I didn't even get to see him. I just missed him.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, so when you were in R&R, I'm going to rewind it a little bit. And the plainclothes police officer,
Yeah.
you're the only one in yourself, and the CDC officer said, "Yeah, this is your man right here." Did he tell you then? He did tell you an indictment,
Yeah.
and that's when you said you didn't know what an indictment
Yeah.
was. But did you get handed? When did you get handed the paperwork?
At court, like my first court date. So
Okay,
yeah.
so he just said, "Hey, man, you're getting charged on an indictment."
Yeah, he just said you've been indicted by the United States of America. That's what he said. I'm
That
like,
shit's
what the-
scary as fuck.
Yeah, that
You know
shit.
what I mean?
Yeah, that because when he said the whole like you've been indicted, I'm like, what? Yeah, you've been indicted by the United States of America. I'm like, whoa,
What the
what
hell
the?
is
What?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, like oh shit.
I didn't sign up for all this shit. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So then from there, yeah, I went to Chino, ran into my brother. It had been about 10 years we hadn't seen each other, and so I mean, it was even though it was a whole little shit mess, that indictment, it was a blessing to also be with him.
See your brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh, that's kind of interesting. I mean, there's always yeah.
Yeah.
You can always find
Silver lining.
something, huh?
Silver lining.
Silver lining. Thank you, Casey.
Yeah, because even after that whole indictment, like after the whole shit was done, like I don't think we could shake each other, huh? We ended up bumping into each other and Centinela, and then fucking we ended up being Sally's there until the feds picked him up to start his time. So we stood together for quite a while after that.
So how did you get caught up in an indictment when you're already doing time? That's kind of like
it's just like Looney was saying. So
you were gone for 8 years, bro.
Yeah, so it was crazy. It just like and it was just a trip that how I got pulled in. I was like, fuck, dude, I wasn't talking to nobody. I hadn't like no contact probably with none of my homies, no mail, like nothing. It was just I was doing my time, whatever. You know, I was living my life in prison, and that was like, and that's kind of like always been like I busted, and this is my life right now. Like whatever's going on out there, I don't care. You know, so that's what I was doing, and so for me it was kind of like mind blowing. Like what the fuck? Like how the fuck you pull me in this shit? And it was for the same thing. Like I had no new charges. Like they had like other people that had like shit like cases that they had on people, phone taps, all that type of shit. I had none of that. Nothing. Like it was just the same exact case, and they were in the beginning. They were trying to get me I want to say it was like 20 years for my case, 20 years for I think it was the RICO, and then like I want to say they were even trying to do the career criminal shit. So they were trying to altogether. They were trying to hit me like 60 years, and then
They're trying to watch you up.
Yeah, and then fucking. So luckily, my state lawyer was on top of it. So like they knew the indictment, so it was a trip. So my mom had told me that my state lawyer called her and told her, "Hey, your boys are getting indicted." So my mom knew, but the thing is, my mom didn't know how to break it to me.
Oh, so she knew before you guys.
So
knew.
this shit was already going on, and so she knew.
Oh, how much longer? I mean. She already knew she couldn't break it.
Yeah, I was in state. This was like right before they picked me up. Like everybody had found out because they already were already scooping people up. Like I seen the news, I seen the whole raid. Like when they had the news conference, I seen that whole shit on TV. But like I'm saying, like I was so like naive and like I didn't know, like I didn't expect to be part of that. You know, I was just like I didn't know. So I remember even being able to use the phone, and I called my mom and like, damn, what's going on out there? You know, and she was like, oh, it's crazy. She was telling, like they're fucking snatching everybody up, but she didn't know how to break it to me. Like you're going back to court. Like you got you. You know, she didn't want to tell me because she just figured probably fucking fuck me up, stress me out and shit.
Yeah,
so.
she didn't want to fucking stress you out, because she was obviously stressed out by it too.
Yeah. So
you know?
So they just basically got me for the same shit, like my same case. So they were trying to give me, like about like 60 years. So it was like 20, so it was 60 years. Then they offered me a deal, so the deal,
recharging you for your same case.
Yeah.
And that was the indictment that got everybody caught up.
Yeah.
The fuck?
So then they ended up,
because they don't play with the hate crimes, right?
Fuck no, nah.
Yeah.
No, so so I'm going
only
to
when they do them. So only when they do them.
Yeah. Well, when they do. Yeah. Go ahead.
So they
no, for sure on that case. Yeah.
So they offered me my deal, and luckily, my like I said, like my state lawyer was on top of that. Like he was on that whole indictment shit, and so he kept in contact with my mom, and I want to say he asked her about my deal, and then he ended up. I think I got him in contact with my Fed lawyer, and then she sent him the deal, and he found a case that was not the same crime, but basically the same. Like it was like the same, almost the same shit. Basically, they had this guy that I can't remember the name the case, but they had this guy, and they did the same thing to him. They and he got indicted. They sentenced him. They gave him a gang of time. They sent him to the feds. He ended up appealing his shit or whatever, and he went back to court, and he beat it, and he won. He fucking won a gang of money. So basically, they used that like, if you don't want to do this, then you give him his time. He's gonna end up coming back. You're gonna waste a gang of money, fucking bringing him back to court and fighting this whole case. So they said, all right, cool. We'll run it concurrent. So they were trying to run it from my 8th year 15 years concurrent. So basically, it still wasn't like it was still fucked up.
Yeah.
So
they were running consecutive.
Yeah. So and when it came down, instead of the 60, they tried to shoot me the 15 years. So they were trying to do a consecutive at first. They were saying he's gonna finish his time, then he's gonna come do 15 years.
Yeah. That's what it sounded like at
Yeah.
first. First you said it was consecutive.
Yeah.
But now concurrent.
Yeah, but still it was like I did those 8 years that I did. It was like okay, that didn't count. Now
Yeah.
he's gonna start. And then he has like I have like it was 8 and I had like 5 or 6 years left.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, so we're gonna run that concurrent with his last 6 years or 5 years. And so basically, I was gonna do an extra 10. And so I was
Which
like,
makes it consecutive.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then they came up with that case, and so what they did is they had to knock off the time that I've been down off of their 15 years, and then run that concurrent. So I ended up with only, I think, 2 extra years. So in all, that's how I ended up doing the 15. So I did all my 13 in state. Then they took me into custody after I got released from state, and then I did 2 more in the feds, and that was it. So I ended up doing the 15.
Wow. And so how was it? Sounds like you got well. They try to twist you up, obviously.
Yeah. So how I feel is like they took me or whatever.
But you got lucky though. Too.
Yeah, and then I felt like they just wanted tabs on me. Basically, they just because even after that, once you get out, the state shit. They take over. They're like basically they get with state and they're like, okay, he's not on your parole no more. He's with us now.
Yeah.
And they just kind of like take you from the state. Boom. That's it.
They wanted that on their record.
Yeah.
On the federal record.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they took so long to pick that up. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what was the thought process on the Fed side?
So basically,
right?
what kind of what Looney was saying. So what my case. Since it was a hate crime,
yeah.
Then like for them convicting me of that, and then me going, and then they use that to like
what Looney said a minute ago. Yes,
so that's how they used. That's what they did with me.
They used yours as the basis or the foundation to try to connect it all together and just fucking say fuck it. Let's just sweep these guys up.
Yeah, because his case was the only case that was a hate crime.
So they
on the
used,
whole case.
Yes, exactly.
They used,
so they wanted to
that,
use him and his co-defendant as one of the predicates to bind us on the RICO.
Exactly, what you said earlier too, brother. Yes.
Yeah. So
which I'm helping for people that are listening a little slow like me, maybe that they can connect it together.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I mean?
basically, with me, that's and towards the end of that, or in the middle of that indictment, during fighting the case, I just realized dang, they're just using me to fucking they're using my case to basically say that that's what we do and
yeah.
And it was
and that's a cold shot, bro.
Yeah, it is.
That's a cold shot, bro.
Yeah.
Man. It's tricky, bro. Them feds, man.
Yes.
The way they operate is do they operate methodical or is it
Seems like that way, yeah.
Like very methodical, right? Obviously, but at the same time
they know when to strike.
Yeah, I don't want none of that smoke, dog. And so, how was it, bro? Finishing your state, and now you're getting bounded over to the feds. I mean, how was that? How was that handoff? You know what I mean? And you are actually the handoff. You know what I mean?
Oh shit! It's time for me to get up for work. Hold up.
Is it, bro?
Yeah, that was my alarm. Like, get up. So,
do you usually work at this time?
Yeah, I work nights.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn!
I do from 10 till it's 6:30, 7. So I'm usually like the last one out where I work. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
I hate nights, bro.
Yeah. So I go in at 10, get out. And I take my daughter to school, and then come home, get a couple hours, pick her up, go back to sleep. That's my Sunday through Thursday. My days off is Friday, Saturday.
Fuck, bro.
Today,
How long you been doing it like that?
For a while, but this shift works for me because I have kids, so I get better sleep like this. So for me,
You have younger kids?
Yeah, my daughter is 5, and then my son is 3.
Okay.
So real quick, shout out to my daughter. So my daughter's like super excited, Rose, because I'm on YouTube. So she's like a big YouTube fan.
Yeah.
So when I told her, she was like super like.
What's her
pumped.
name?
Rose.
Rose.
Right on, Rose.
Rose. And
Superstar, you future,
Yeah,
you
she's on
future
TV.
YouTuber.
yeah.
She gonna be a future
Yeah, she's
YouTuber.
like telling me to subscribe to her channel. So she's like super.
Oh,
pumped.
does she have a channel?
No, but
Oh.
Yeah.
she wants.
I mean,
one.
I was like, we're gonna promo it, but like, no, I can't promo with all these fucking animals right
Yeah.
here.
So she's super
Got
pumped.
a bunch
up.
of fucking. Hey, Rose, I've been
My
following
son,
you for.
my little boy Junior.
Junior,
Same
what
thing.
up?
Yeah.
Kids love YouTube, man.
Yeah.
My girls want me to start them a YouTube channel, and I really got to make time to do it because they're funny. They're 8 and 9, so they're just like they're almost like twins. You feel me? Like I think a lot of people see them. They're like, Irish twins. You know what I mean? Because they say when they're that like, when they're like a year apart,
Right.
they call them Irish twins.
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't know if that's something that anyways, but yeah. So they love YouTube though, man.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a new thing, dog.
they learn everything from that shit. Like they learn from that. Like my daughter surprises me in some of the stuff that she talks about, and then I'm like, where the fuck, like where did she learn this from? And then I could be just chilling, and she's has her tablet, and she's on YouTube, and then I hear some shit. I'm like, oh, that's where the fuck she learned it from. I'm like, damn.
Well, they're for the, civilization. What the fuck did I just say? It's very advanced due to technology, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in the this world of information, at the hand of our fingertips, which makes us a part of the AI, right? You know what I mean? And it's our kids are fucking far in advance, man, of just constantly that YouTube playing, and they just it's it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword, but what you gonna do? So let's get back on track, bro. So you go to the feds for 2 years, man. That was probably like kind of like a little vacation for you, no?
Yeah, it was
In a
little
sense, like a change of the scenery. You know what I mean? A little exciting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You that much closer to home.
Yeah, it was like it was a little, I'll say like bittersweet, because it was it was my release date, so I'm releasing. So I ended up like the last part of my the pen, I went out of state when they were doing all those out of state like Oklahoma, Arizona, and all that.
Yeah.
And then I made my way down towards the end of my time. I ended up in Norco. So from there that's where I paroled from, and then I got picked up by the feds. But it was kind of like, man, because everybody that was in R&R with me, they're all going home, and they're talking about like, oh, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, oh, I'm not going home. I'm going to the feds. And they're like, what? I go, they're gonna pick me up. Yeah.
They had you in the release tank.
Yeah, it's like they're picking me up right now. Like,
Did you actually have change outs to get rearrested? I mean, did they do you like that?
No, I had some shit. Like I had like brand new shit. Shoes.
So some sweats and stuff, or whatever.
I just took it with me. So
Yeah.
And then so they came and got me, and it was just like, you know what, fuck, this is the end of my time. Fuck it. Got to they took me back to CDC, so I'm waiting there, and yeah, for me, I mean, and then once I got there, it was cool because there's guys that are just fighting their case, or they got to get time, and I'm just like fuck it, like I'm at the end of my time, like I don't have to go through this shit,
Yeah.
So, I was there for about probably like 2 weeks, and then I got picked up and ended up in Victorville, USP.
How was that at Victorville then compared to after being a kind of somewhat of a state baby, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. So I'm on the bus. They're taking us to Victorville, and it was cool because they pick us up at CDC, and we're going, and we dropped some people off at Terminal Island. So it was pretty cool because the route, we went to Terminal Island, and the route going jumping back on the freeway and going to Victorville, we passed right through my neighborhood.
Yeah, right through the.
So it's pretty cool. Like I got to see, I'm like, oh shit, I got to see a little glimpse real quick of what I'm gonna,
what you're gonna get ready to come out to pretty soon.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. And then we get to Victorville, and it was a trip because we get there, and every single person on that bus was like, it turned to instant fucking. They were terrified. Like everybody's like, oh, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And then they're like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
wait, everybody in the bus was terrified?
Yeah, like
of what?
Of Victorville. Like they were like it went from like everybody's just chatting it up, like just all happy, to like fucking why are we at the USP? And the cops like, oh, this is where you guys are getting off at. And then like, oh, I'm supposed to go here. I was like, no, this paper says we're dropping this whole bus off at right here at Victorville. So I'm like,
I
damn,
see
like,
that.
you know, in my head, I'm like, damn, what's going on here, you know? And fucking, so it was a trip. So we get off the bus, and they put us in a tank, and it was fucking crazy because they put us in a tank, in a holding tank. The cop comes, opens the door, and he says, all right, I'm gonna start calling names. And he's like, and anybody going to the main line, I want you guys to go to that tank, and anybody that doesn't want to be here, go to that tank. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I laughed, like, okay,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Everybody went to that tank.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not even
I
playing,
seen
dude.
that, bro.
They called my name. I go to the tank, go into the main line, and then they called this black dude. He was from I want to say his name was Wacko or something. He's from Watts. An OG dude, and then he comes behind me. Boom, he comes in. Bam. Then they come. So like they knew already. They shut the door, locked it. Boom, and every single other person went to the other tank.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
bro.
fuck.
That's why they were
seen that.
nervous.
Yeah,
I've
so I'm
seen that,
like,
bro.
what the fuck? So
So did they have a PC yard right there or something?
they just throw them in the hole. They threw all those fools probably in the hole, or they have a transfer. I don't
They
think
got yards.
Yeah, I don't.
They have their own yards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't.
Of
think,
course they do, right?
Yeah, but I don't think every one of them was staying there. I think they were transferring like to maybe a different state or different pin. So they have like a building right there, and they throw them in there until their bus comes for their destination. So some of those fools probably went to the hole, and some of them, probably went to that other building to get transferred out. And so we're in the holding tank. We're waiting to go through processing. They bring the medical down there and do that whole processing right there in R&R. And so I'm going through processing, and then I remember asking one of the nurses, I was like, hey, what's going on here? Are they on lockdown? She's like, no, it says programming right here. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, what the fuck? What's the big deal then? Like, the fools are all scared and shit. So
Yeah.
we go through processing or whatever, and then it happened to be chow time. And so right there, when you go, they just like, even though you're new, they tell you what building you're going to. And I remember we get by the chow before we go out to the yard to our housing. They're like, oh, just put your drop your roll right here and just go into the chow, and then go in there. And I had some homies there, and it was crazy because they knew that I was coming already. So
Yeah.
like they already had a heads up that
Oh shit.
yeah, like so
That's tight.
they knew, yeah. So
Yeah.
like they were already expecting me and shit. There was like a couple other homies from different hoods that I knew during the fighting the case, like on our diamond, like from the hoods that were in there. They knew I was gonna pop up. So I walk in, and it was pretty cool, like
Hell
to run
yeah.
into a bunch of
Hell
And so
yeah.
now we are in a whole different
Environment. It's
a system in a sense. Now
Yeah.
we got stamps. We're trading stamps.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, bro.
it's a big culture shock because like in the state, you got the homies, you got the paisas, you got the whites, you got the blacks, Crips and Bloods, and you know how to function around each other.
Yes.
You know how much the respect level, that we have for each other and stuff like that. You know how to tread around people, right? And in the feds, it's every gang from the United States of America. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
it's a big difference. Like
It's pretty crazy, bro.
yeah. And even Victorville, we're in California, so we're in our home state, but there's everybody there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so it's a trip.
What stuck out to you the most out of being in this new environment with different players in the game, right?
I would say kind of like the tide turns. Like in state, you have we're the dominant fucking group. You
Yeah.
know, and in the feds, we're not. In the feds, you have I would say in the state we're the dominant, and the least biggest group in the state are the others. In the feds, those fuckers are deep.
Yes,
The others
They're
are.
deep, the deepest.
You mean like the native?
Lot of
Natives,
natives,
Samoans,
Asians.
Asians, they're fucking deep.
They're
Oh, yeah.
deep. Yeah.
They're the probably the biggest on the yard.
And so, are they just doing bigger things on the streets or something, or what's going on, man?
I think
Digital crimes.
Yeah, like they're on
Yeah,
some
bro.
other shit,
yeah,
right?
they're
Yeah,
fucking
bro.
deep. Well, I think like for the natives, I think on the reservations, I think they're automatically
Federal?
feds. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
automatically
Yeah.
feds.
Yeah.
Same thing with DC.
Yeah,
It's automatic.
yeah.
TC blacks, man.
Yeah,
right?
DC.
Yeah, so
Man,
so
I've been-
yeah, so it's a different environment. So you got to get used to everything again. You got to know how to tread around people and how they function. There's certain things that it's just you got to get used to, I guess. The way other people program and shit. So it was a crazy, to be around people from Texas, New Mexico, Arizona.
Interesting
you know.
contrast, huh?
Yeah.
From state to that,
Yeah.
man. That's
Yeah.
Any Alaska people out in there?
I don't think I met anybody from Alaska. I'm not sure.
Any Eskimo motherfuckers?
Eskimo motherfuckers.
They probably fall into the others, right? Eskimo.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I think they'd be considered native, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've had a couple of my homeboys from my hood on here that talked about the feds, loony. I mean, I'm always like, it's really interesting to me, you know. My mind is always captivated in the sense of just how different it is, because like you said, you know, this is the United States, all the gangs for the United States, and then these dudes are like, so the state, like there's like a lot of like, I don't want to say low level criminals, bro, but there is levels to the game, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so now you're in the feds.
Well, yeah, you meet people and you're like, damn, I was in the wrong game. Like, fuck, man.
I was committing the wrong crime.
Yeah, I could have been. Yeah, exactly.
I was taking the
like,
wrong risk. I'll say.
I'm doing this shit for free. I could have been fucking making money or some shit. You know, like
100%.
Yeah.
We had that one dude, Baby Runner. We had Baby Runner on here. And he did time in the feds. And I really like the way he broke it down. He's a black dude. He's a Crip.
Right.
I like the way he's from 40s or something like that, right? I think he's from 40s. Yeah. Cool dude, bro. Really cool dude, man. Shout out to DJ Flip, man. They all pulled up.
Yeah.
But anyways, he was talking about, you know, the contrast, the difference, you know, and he just you know, like all them dudes were preparing to get money on the way out. He was just talking about the mind state, the mindset, you know what I mean? The caliber of individuals that are right there in comparison to the state system.
Yeah.
You know, he basically described it as like, you know, night and day, bro. You know, which you could describe it the same way, night and day, in regards to the caliber of individuals.
Yeah, like honestly, I felt like that guy. I don't belong here. Like these fools are fucking
On some other shit.
Yeah, like damn.
Yeah. And that's interesting because in the pecking order of the criminal world, if we can call it that, the least, or you know, the underworld, Gotham, you know, there is really levels in the game, you know, and
The white collar crime is real.
White collar crime too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of yeah. How was your time though for the past? You did 2 years right there, right? How was it?
It was chill. It was cool. It was cool. Yeah.
And was there just only a few of the fellas, the homies right there? Because you said, you know, how you described it. You said how in state we're dominant, you know what I mean? Forced to reckon with, but then we come here and, you know.
No, there was a lot of homies right there. Like, and there was a trip to meeting homies from like other states. There was actually homies from other states and shit like that. Like my my Sally was a homie. He was from Oregon. He was a native, but he was from 18th Street. The homie Indio. But he was from out there from Oregon. Yeah, he was cool as fuck.
Yeah,
cool ass homie.
And it's interesting too. You know, I got locked up in Arizona, and you know, shout out to the homies from Arizona. But there's some of the dudes from some of them don't like the homies. You know what I mean? You know?
You can see
But
I can see
so I'm in the state system in AZ.
Oh, okay.
No, I got busted in state, not the feds, bro.
shit.
I got busted. I went to Arizona one night party, bro, and got arrested, bro.
Oh, wow.
And ended up in ADC, Arizona Department of Corrections, because of my CDC record is so bad. You know what I mean? And I stayed there for 2 years. I went there one night to party and stayed there for 2 years in the prison system.
God, bro.
A goddamn book right there.
But there was a homie from Arizona. Shout out to my dogs from Arizona. A lot of love, bro. But you know, sometimes it be like that. Some fools just don't. You know, we're in their backyard. You know what I mean? And so with the state system, it's like follow the house rules. But you know, as the homies, we run our own program.
Yeah.
But we follow their house rules.
Yeah.
You feel me? That's was set up far before me. You know, and so. But there was this homie from Arizona. They did time in the feds with the homies, and he was a cool motherfucker, bro. He was, and you could, and he was just like the homies, like fucking ganged the boy up. Like he knew a lot of homies, bro, and he felt like just like one of the homies.
Yeah.
You feel me? And the dudes from AZ didn't like it because they had all kinds of batches of Pruno and shit. You know, at this one yard I was on. And I think it was called Florence, where I was at prison, Florence in AZ. Then I was in Kingman, and then I was in another prison. But in Florence, the dude had a big old fucking pruno, you know? And he just said he came and just gifted it, you know what I mean? You know, he goes, hey, my homies ain't gonna like this, bro, but this is for you fools right here, you know what I mean? Yeah, you in our backyard, dog, but hey, homie, I was in your guys' backyard, and all your homies raised me up, gained me up, you know what I mean? Because he was like kind of like a fed baby in a sense, you know what I mean? And so he showed mad love, bro. That dude was legit, dog.
Yeah, there was some cool homies from Arizona, New Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Even we even fucked with the Tangos.
Yeah, Tongos.
Yeah,
Tangos, yeah?
Those were cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those dudes are cool, man.
Yeah, it's interesting, huh?
Yeah.
New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, just
Utah.
Utah,
Colorado.
yeah.
Oh, Colorado too,
bro.
yeah. I didn't know Utah.
bro.
Utah?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
all,
a
yeah.
shit. Oh yeah, bro. Sudanos over there.
Oh,
dude,
yeah,
bro.
though?
Oh yeah, all over.
Damn, fool, the
All
homies
over
are
the
deep
place,
as
bro.
shit, huh?
Hey, you know, you need to watch the Utah lockup, bro. Oh my God, bro.
Are you
be
serious?
You be blown
Utah
away, bro.
lockup?
You be blown away, bro.
Yeah.
Utah prison, blow you away, dog.
Yeah, I even met a homie. Well, he was from. Well, I mean, they're everywhere, but he was from 18. He was from I think North Dakota or South Dakota.
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
God damn.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Kansas too.
Yeah, those homies everywhere, dog.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Kansas. I heard the Kansas ones.
Where do they got the Mormons at, bro? Is that in Utah?
Utah, yep.
Mormons, huh?
Yeah, Mormons.
We got any Mormon homies, bro?
That would be crazy.
I don't think so.
That'd be
Let's
sick.
find one.
American Muscle said, thought we beefed it with tangos.
Nah,
you thought
that's
wrong.
not true.
Tangos are cool, huh?
Yeah, bro.
I think I was I went to Texas, and I think I did one of the homies I did an interview with was a tango, and he knew my homeboy Droops, and Droops said, hey, my homeboy Lucky's going out there, so that fool pulled up on me and shit, and we chopped it up. I don't think I ever posted the interview, and if you're watching my dog, I never posted it because I was fucking plastered, bro, and it just wasn't a good interview to put up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I went out there, and my boy from La Conecta, my dog, we were supposed to do like 2 days of interviews out there, and instead he had to bounce out, and so it just compacted all these interviews in one day.
Oh, shit.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And so I've never done like 5-6 interviews back to back.
Oh shit.
Damn.
And it really just like, and mind you, I was fucking, yeah, man, it's not a good idea to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when you start drinking like on the second, third interview.
I got 3 more.
Yeah, bro, I really set myself up for failure, dog. So there was interviews that I didn't even upload, bro.
Oh, wow.
You know, like there was a couple interviews I you know, and I was just like, and I reached out to a couple of them. I said, hey, it's just too gone on that shit right there. You know what I mean? You know, there was this one girl. I was like, you got some nice titties. And I'm just fucked up, bro. You know what I mean? And she's just like, oh, thank you. You know what I mean? Thank you for having me.
We're gonna relist those for members only. Fuck it. Members only will get those.
Man, bro, fucking dumb motherfucking Lucky, dog, out there in Texas, dog. You know what I mean? Oh man, but that's cool, man. Shit. So you do your time, you get out. You finally get out,
Yep.
which was what 5-7 years ago? You said
Yeah, 7 years ago.
7 years ago,
Going on
man.
8, yeah.
And so you got out and you never went back.
Nope.
You rebuilt your life up.
Yeah. The day I remember the day I paroled, it was or even the day before, it was crazy. You know, like I was never really big on like stressing on my time. Like I'm be honest, like when
You seem like a pretty chill dude.
yeah,
bro.
like I didn't know, but like at the same time, I didn't give a fuck when I was busted. Like as far as being busted, like
Yeah.
I didn't care. Like it did not bother. I was so used to being in and out of jail. Like I remember, I'm gonna backtrack, but like you know, like when I was in the halls, it was like when I first started getting busted. I remember I had a moment while I was in there, and I was just thought to myself like, "Fuck, man, this is gonna be my life. Like this is what I was, you know, this is what God brought me into the world for. Like I'm gonna be in jail my whole life because I felt like I was never gonna stop going to jail. Once you're in and out and you start that trend, is just like it's hard to break that. You know, you're just like in and out. So I was just thought to myself like, you know, that was as a kid like, fuck, this is gonna be my life. So I just like kind of in a way embraced it. Like fuck it, you know, like it is what it is. And so even during my state time, like same thing, like I didn't give a fuck. Like I was just like whatever, you know. And I would say it wasn't as hard for me because I had my family, you know, like my brothers, my sister, my mom, you know, like shout out to my mom, man. My mom, you no matter what I did, no matter what I got into, no matter how many times I got busted, the shit that I put her through, my mom always had my back, like to the fullest. Like took care of me, like never turned her back on me, never let me down.
Did
like,
she have your brothers back too?
Yeah, all of us.
That's tight, bro.
Yeah,
because if not, that creates like animosity. It's like, man, fuck Menace.
Yeah, nah, she, so that made it easy because
that's how it was in my family, bro. Because my family, Dulo, bro, they'd be like, they let you know, like that's my favorite.
I remember there was times when he was going in and out of camp.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All shit. Every time he would get out, mom was go.
Everybody, like my
Why-
uncles,
why
everybody
he
would
getting
shoot me
shit?
money, like boom.
He's getting in trouble.
I would tell him,
Like,
go-
why he gets out,
go to
he finds out
jail.
the new shit.
Go to jail, you'll get some money when you get out.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. That's a loving family, bro. That is a super loving family, bro. I believe that is something called unconditional love, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's something that's passed on. Unconditional love is something that's passed on from generation to generation, and it wasn't passed on in my family. I don't believe unconditional love was not necessarily passed on in my family. It's just crazy the way that works sometimes. I mean, I don't know if it's in the DNA or you know what I mean. It's in the genes, bro. Of
Yeah.
Why, but there are families, but no matter what, bro. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not hating or nothing, bro. All right, I'm hating a
my
little
family,
bit, bro.
my family's is tight. Like right now, I think they're all at my pad. My sister, shout out to my sister.
Watching right now?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Adriana.
Oh, that's
Big,
what's up.
her husband Nick, Big
You
Nick.
got the whole city
my
watching
nephews,
right now, bro.
my nephews, my wife Bernadette. Love you. Shout out. I owe her. Actually, I owe my wife a date. Today is our anniversary.
Well, damn, bro.
Hey,
Congratulations, brother.
happy anniversary.
Yep.
Happy anniversary,
Yeah,
brother.
so-
yeah.
I owe her a date.
Yeah. What kind of like what things do you guys like to do as a couple? Like a date, like what would be
Date
something?
night, we'll probably go out, have dinner, come home, sit in the backyard or maybe in the front, open up the garage at night and just sip on some wine.
Just
Get a
chop
nasty-
it up.
Get a nasty hangover the next day.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I did yesterday on the podcast, bro. Sipping on that wine, bro. Fucking woke up sideways. That's cool, bro. That's cool, man. You living your best life, bro. Sounds like you living your best life.
Yeah, so I finally the day before I parole, it was crazy. Like or so I'll say it was like a couple months. So a couple months before I parole, like I said, like I never bothered me being busted, but these two homies one day were walking the yard in Victorville, were walking around, and it was like on the weekend. On the weekend right there, like you didn't have to go to yard. So when you did, it wasn't really too many people out there. It was pretty dead. Everybody was just chilling in the building, like in the day room and shit, or going to the gym they had there, like the inside the indoor rec. So we were out there in the yard, and it was just like three of us, and we're walking around and shit. The yard was dead. We're walking around, and then he hits me with a question. He's like, "Hey, fool, when you getting out?" And I was like, I thought about it. I'm like, "Fuck, in 2 months." And he was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Like 60 days, bro, 2 months." And then that shit, stress fucking was overwhelming. Like it just hit me like, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Like, fuck, you're getting out. You don't even have a plan. Like you just been doing all this time, you didn't game plan shit. You're just getting out. And I was like, fuck, that's all the thoughts that were going through my head. And so now it's just like counting down the days. I'm like, man, so the day before I went home, I remember I'm in the day room and I'm just like, where my cell was at was like by the pole where all the TVs are at. So I'm just like squatted down against the wall and I'm watching whatever's on TV. And it was one of the homies from Texas, from Tango. That fool walks up to me and he's like, "What's the matter?" And I'm like, "None." He goes, "Nah." I was like, "What's up, fool? Like, you good?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." And he's like, "You look down." And I was like, "Oh, fool, I'm going home tomorrow." And he was like, "What the fuck? Like, what's it like? You're tripping. Like, you're oh man, that's cool, this and that." And I go, "Nah, it's just I don't know what I'm gonna do." And I was just telling that fool, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, dog. Like, And he was like, you don't have nowhere to go? I go, well, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go to my mom's, bro. But like, I don't want to live at my mom's house forever. I'm a grown ass man, dog. Like, I want to live at my mom's.
You're 35 years old.
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
like, fuck, dude. I don't want to live at my mom's. Like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. So I'm just like, fuck. So then that was it. So I didn't really the homies knew that I was going home, but like outside of the homies, like I didn't really tell nobody else. Like people that I fuck with, because you in the feds you meet people. Like I remember there was this black dude. He was from New York. I'm trying to remember his name. Oh, he went by what was it? I want to say something like Universe or some shit, some weird ass name. But he was cool as fuck. And you know, and then there was some Dominican dude and like some of the paisas that I was cool with, and you know, and then fucking he was like, nobody knows, and he's like, oh, that's fucked up. You're not gonna tell nobody. So I'm like, eh. So I went and you know, went up around and, hey man, like, you know, it was good to meet you guys. I'm going home. And they were like, oh, like, what the fuck?
Oh, you were just gonna pull a ghost?
Yeah, I was just gonna leave, bro. Like, you know, like I'm going home.
Magically disappear.
Yeah, so they were just like, what? You're going home? Like, yeah, I'm probably tomorrow, dog. And they're like, oh shit, like, yeah, that's what's up, you know, whatever. So, I think I was like so traumatized too, though, like from like the being in state, having my time, and then getting indicted, that like it was kind of like
too good to be true.
Yeah, it was too good to be true, and I was like, I didn't have a game plan, so I was like, I was going through some shit, like
100%, brother.
You know. So I remember they take in the morning. But at the same time it was crazy because my Sally was like, oh, you ain't gonna be able to sleep, and I went inside, threw on the radio, and I fucking slept like a baby, like I knocked the fuck out, and I woke up in the morning. They opened the cell. They're like, "Hey, we're on the way to Chow. After Chow hit R&R." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I fucking morning. I say my goodbyes to all the homies and shit. And I'm leaving and get to R&R. They put me in the holding cell. And then there was this paisa that was in the same building as me. He was leaving too. And then so they put him in the cell with me. And he's like, "You're going home?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, me too." I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah, that's cool." So we're right there, and then all of a sudden, this fool walks in as a marshal. Walks in, and he starts walking up. He starts walking up to the fucking to the cell. Yeah, and I'm like, "Fuck!" And then the paisa looks at me, and I look at him, and he was like, "Is that for you?" And then I look, and I'm looking at the cop as he's walking up, and then I seen that it was an ICE agent. I told him, "Nah, that's for you, bro." I looked at him like, "Nah, that's for you. That ain't for me." And he was like, "Fuck." He was like, "Fuck." And I'm like, damn, fuck. I was like, shit. And then, yeah, it was a trip. Like, so they processed me out, and then they're walking me out. And I was going through these hallways and shit. And then we walk out this side door, and they take me out to the area where the buses come in.
Yeah.
And it's like a movie, like, you know, in the movies when someone gets released from prison, they open the gate and you walk out.
Yeah.
Like, it was legit. It was like that. That shit was crazy. Like, they walked me out. And then the tower comes out, and he was like, "Oh, Snad." He's like, "Oh, your number." So I tell him my number, and then he's like, "All right." And he has the picture of me, same shit. And then he's like, "All right." And then they had an Uber. They had an Uber there. So fucking I walk out. The Uber fucking picks me up. They take me to the I think where they had the chicks at. And then there's like a building right there where you get your money, like if you have any money on your books. And then they take me there, get my money that I had on my books. They take me to Adelanto, to the ground station, and then I had my mom and my sister there waiting for me there.
That's cool, bro.
Yeah, she was pretty cool.
So first, mom, sister's there waiting for you. First thing was besides get in the car, greet your family. What's the first thing you guys go do? Do you go get something to eat? Or?
Yeah, we went to some spot. I think it was in it was in Victorville called Mimi's Cafe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just that chain restaurant, right?
Yeah. Just went in there, ate breakfast. Then from there, I was going to a halfway house in Rubidoux, and so they took me to
Rubidoux.
like
IE, right?
Yeah, Riverside. Yeah. So I'm going to the halfway house there, and
shout out to my boy Motive. Motive got a gym. Motive got a gym in Rubidoux, man. I went there and I trained with him.
Oh,
and he hooked me up with a bunch of cool stuff. But shout out to my dog, man. But go ahead, dog.
Yeah, so they're taking me there, but we stopped at the mall. I just wanted some shoes because I had like brand new shit that I had from in there. I took like some I rolled in some shorts and a tee, and then I think a sweater. But I left I left all the shit to the homies, and I walked out in some beat up shoes. So my sister and mom were clowning my shoes that I had. So there were some
some yard dogs.
Yeah, some Nikes, but they were like some ugly ass Nikes. So
yeah, you had them fucking old man Nikes.
Yeah. So I went to some fucking ghetto ass mall. Was it the Inland Center? They took me to the Inland Center. Went to Foot Locker and got me some Air Forces, and then boom.
Air Forces.
Yeah, so that's all they were.
The black Air Forces?
No, the white ones.
Oh, the white ones.
Black ones are for crime.
I don't wear. I do have a pair of black ones, but
they only come out on special times.
Yeah,
no,
I don't wear any other shoe but Air Forces. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just my shit. I don't know.
And what,
Are you're because you're a 2000s baby.
Yeah.
That's the era for
Yeah.
the Air Force Ones are the 2000
That's
babies,
it.
bro.
Mid-
Are the 2000 gangsters, bro.
Yeah. Mid-high Air Forces. That's it.
Yeah. Those are tight, bro. I tried rocking them. I just can't do it, dog.
Yeah.
They just don't. You know what I mean? Maybe because I'm just like in a.
what about the high tops?
He's got mids.
The mids. I'll wear them, but
He's
I
got
like
mids.
Yeah.
either or.
The mids are fresh.
The highs or the mids.
What the fuck you mean? What you know about fresh? Look at the shoes you got.
Dog, what the fuck? I grew up on Nelly, homie. Air Force Ones. I need 2 pairs. Come on, dog. I saw all that shit. I know what's up with
Take
it.
a shoe off and show your Air Force.
Dog, they already know what I be rocking. I be rocking them motherfucking cartoon boots.
The fucking boots, bro. That shit is a fucking. I forgot a toddler boot on. Oh man, I love Casey, man. My dog. Man. He's giving me a ride home tonight.
Not anymore, bitch.
Bitch, you am, bro. Yeah, it's new right there.
Yeah. So from there, get to the halfway house. Get settled in there, and then from there, like if you get weekend passes, like you go home or
From the halfway house.
you go
Yeah.
to your family's pad or whatever.
How was the halfway house? I mean, what was the setup?
It was fucked up. Like,
Yeah?
that place sucked. But
Okay, what city was it in?
In Rubidoux.
Okay, Rubidoux.
It just-
and it's hood right there too, huh?
and it wasn't because of the area, but it was just like the staff, like that they had there and the setup. It was trash. Like
Well, who's the ones that are running those things are
they're securities. They're basically,
they're securities.
but they work under the feds. So
They're contracted by
Yeah,
the feds to
pretty
take
much.
care of inmates when they get out of prison.
yeah. So
Well, what level of taking care of them are? Do they lock and unlock the door, check
No.
you in, check you out?
they check you in, check you out. Like,
Okay.
that's it. Like
Yeah.
they're
Do they live there
They
too?
make sure you get your meals.
No, they just have shift changes.
Yeah, yeah, but like you have rooms and then
Is it a commercial building or is it a real house?
It's
No.
You know what they are? They're like old convalescent homes that they altered into like for prisoners to inhabit.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what they
So
are.
it
So
was,
it's an institution.
yeah. So it was fucked up.
It's
but,
an
like,
institution environment. Is
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
and so like going there, you don't like. My mentality was like I didn't know who was there. I didn't know who was who. I wasn't trying to get to know people, so I just kept to myself. Like I just was there. I would work out. They had like a little setup, like a gym. I would just work out, fucking smoke cigarettes, go to my room. And then to get out of there, like on the weekends, you had to get a job. So I got a job. And it was with this guy, this white boy. He was from Oregon, man. That's who fucking got me in this job called Coronado Stone. It's in Fontana. So we would fucking have to take the bus off of Mission. All the ways up Mission. It would end. I can't remember the street it would end on, but it would stop. And then we would have to walk a whole mile to work. And then fucking, it was like a fucking, fuck, man. That job was like a slave job, bro. Like, they would slave us and fucking for cheap. And so I kept the job in my head. I knew I wasn't gonna stay there, but I was like, fuck, I get to go home, visit my family on the weekend. So fuck it, I'm gonna keep this job while I'm here.
Yeah.
And once I'm done with this halfway house, fuck this job, I'm done.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing when I first got out. And yeah, fucking. That's actually where I met my my wife.
Wow.
She worked at that company.
She worked there, yeah. That's how I met her.
What did she do there?
What did she do? She worked like in. My brother worked there too. She worked.
Oh,
Like
shit.
He worked in like the same area where he worked at. I can't remember exactly what she did.
Was he also in the halfway house?
He was already out of the halfway house. But he was on parole. Yeah, but he already had went through there.
Oh, wow.
And so
So you met your lady there.
yeah, she was.
Was it
like-
love at first sight?
She was stalking me.
Was she?
Yeah, she'll pop up. She's mad right now. She won't admit it, but like she would come out. She had like some cousins there, and she would come out, and she would be staring at me and shit. And then I'd just be right there smoking a cigarette. And then one
You're all
day,
swollen shit?
yeah, I think I was just like when I got out, I was just like super skinny. Like I was, like I know you guys don't believe it out there because what I look like now, but this is from COVID and 2 kids, so I just
Yeah,
never went
bro.
back to the gym.
It's all good, bro.
Yeah, you gotta worry about it, bro. You got a lady, bro.
Yeah.
She loves you for who you are, bro. I mean,
So I just we just started talking. Like I was cool with one of her cousins. His name's Ruben. So I just asked him one day, I'm like, who's that? And he was like, who's that with your cousin? He's like, oh, that's my other cousin. I'm like, oh shit, cool.
Your whole
All right.
family worked
Yeah,
there.
yeah. She had like a
the whole family,
Yeah,
huh?
so
They were all slaving them motherfuckers right there.
so I got introduced to her, and then we kind of like talked here and there, and we started talking there, and then like I said, like I knew I was leaving there, so I want to say it was my last day, and if I'm wrong, comment and forgive me, but I walked up. I remember she was on her phone, and I went up to her and I grabbed her phone and I just put my number in her phone. Boom, put it back.
That's some player shit.
I was a bit of a
Strong arm that thing.
That was my player days.
Hey.
And so
That's confidence, bro.
Yeah, I put my number.
Here,
give
let me
her-
do you a favor real quick.
Boom.
Bop, 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 bop.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then we just kept in contact. Like
Call me.
we kept in contact, and I would say like what we kept in contact, and it was just talking on the phone. Then we would go out and shit like that, and that's what attracted me to her. Is like it wasn't like every other chick. Like I could just give her my phone number, meet her, and then boom, wham bam, do her thing, and it was a wrap. Like nah. Yeah, she carried herself with respect.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
Good for her and good for you. You guys
Right on.
making that connection, and here we are now. You know what I mean, with the 2 kids together.
Yep.
It's awesome, brother. How does it feel to be a father, man?
Good. Like it was crazy because I always tell her, and I told her I was gonna say this too, but like it's a trip because like back in the day, like when I was younger, like I didn't want kids. I didn't want kids because I felt like I was gonna be a fucked up dad. Like and
okay.
as far as like I thought I was gonna be that person. Like if a girl said, "Hey, I'm pregnant," I was gonna be like, "Fuck you, that ain't my baby." You know what I mean? Like that type of person.
I've been there.
You know what I mean? Like that's how I that's how I felt. So kids weren't in my future, like or what I thought. And
Wasn't in your scope.
yeah. And then and then it's just crazy how like I think about it like all the when I was out or whatever running around and like that I didn't have kids. I know I never had a kid, and then all of a sudden, boom, here I am, bam, 2 kids. And so I always tell her like it's crazy, like I'm not the most religious person in the world, but I do believe in God. And I always tell her like it's crazy that where I'm at now, because I really believe that I had to go through everything that I went through to get to here.
Of course.
Now, because maybe at some point this was God's plan for me to be at this this person at some point, but the way I was going, it wasn't happening, and it was just 1 or 2 things were gonna happen. I was gonna get killed, or in the streets, or I was gonna end up just getting caught up in being a lifer in prison.
Yeah.
So I feel like I had to go through all that shit, everything I'm talking about, like my case, the whole indictment shit, and just like and to be here now, boom.
Amen,
and now,
brother. I like that.
Right on,
Yeah.
I
man.
like that, dog.
Yeah, bro.
Good for you, bro. Great story, bro. Great testimony, man. And things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
1000%, bro.
yeah, for sure.
Do you go to church? Do you and your chick go to church?
No,
Your girl?
my girl is like really religious, like, and no, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes people prefer to have a personal relationship with God at home, or so, I mean, it doesn't make a churchgoer, better than the next man that
Yeah.
doesn't go to church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's sometimes it's just kind of like it's just like a parade. Look at me. You know what I mean? I don't know, bro. I don't want to talk any smack that anyone goes to church. Like I'm gonna go to my homeboy Pastor Ray's church next Sunday. I'm gonna go to his church. I'm gonna visit him.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, hallelujah. And support, you know what I mean? Because it's his church. He was an old cellie of mine. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right
Yeah,
on.
so I'm gonna go support him. He's a little mad at me, bro, because I think he's. I'll tell a little bit of a story, bro. Because he said so we used to follow each other on Instagram, and then he got mad at me, bro. I think, and because he says, "Hey guys," because he does all the religious posts because he's a
Yeah.
pastor, bro. You know what I mean, and I'm, and he goes, "Hey guys, we're gonna do a couple cruise. There's gonna be couple counseling and all this other stuff. If you'd like to show up, blah blah blah, this, that, and the other, right?" Like he's making this announcement of a post, And I said, and in the comment, you know, I was all fucking high and drinking and shit. I was like, "Hey, Ray, dog, can I bring my side chick?" You know, I guess because I always leave comments here and there like that, and I guess it's not right on my behalf. You know what I mean? You know, for a man that's trying to, you know, sometimes people don't find humor, and
that's so funny.
let's live in a different, go in a different path. Like a pasture is a real thing, bro.
Yeah.
It's serious, bro. You know, and you know, I don't care if I became a pastor, all right, and I got an old celly of mine, you know, it's like, bro, get out my comments with that shit. So I get it, bro. You know what I mean?
But it was funny though.
I thought it was funny, but anyways, I'm going to his church next Sunday.
With your side chick?
And matter of fact, me and a couple of my boys are going. That we've been in the penitentiary together. We're all gonna go because we were all together on this one yard at one time together. So we're gonna go and support them and stuff, bro.
Hell yeah.
You know, so hey, to each his own, bro. You know, to each his own. But I think I'm a religious person. Do I go to church every day? No. Am I a believer? Yes. Do I pray every day? Now, yes, I do. I got back on track because I was reading this book and it said. To kill the morning, you have to own the night or something like that. You know, I might have getting the saying backwards, but they said it's very important how you end your day and how you start your morning. You know, like now, how you start your morning is like a lot of people start your morning like this. Like the first thing they do is they get on their phone and look at social media. That's the absolute wrong way to start your morning, according to this book I'm reading right now. So the proper way to start your morning is to, you know, maybe start it in prayer. Okay, so you're not a religious person. That's fine. Okay, you don't have to pray. Okay, start it in
gratitude,
in gratitude and appreciation and positive things about what am I gonna do today? You know what I mean? You know, what am I gonna do this coming week? You know, just like really good thoughts. You know what I mean? Powerful thoughts. Maybe a little meditation. You know what I mean? Maybe read something good, brother. But the worst thing you can do is just jump on social media right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, are you pressed for time right now, though?
No.
Okay, yeah, for sure. You got your like text message right there.
Yeah.
Okay, how's that shit? Let me see that shit, fool.
That's
Get your ass home.
Like, get your ass home now. Stop talking about me now.
Yeah. But I love you. But anyways, brother, I am forever trying to raise up and better myself as an individual. You know. I do this thing where I seclude, I put myself in just, I'll block myself off from the world at times. You know what I mean? And I'll somewhat go into like a semi, not hiding, bro, but I just like I'll take myself out of all situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like doing that. You know what I mean? I like doing that. You know.
What's the name of that book, Lucky? If you know.
I'll get you the name of the book. But that one particular thing, you can get it. The name of the book is funny, bro, because it's not on, you can't order it on Amazon. So it's actually, I'll give you the name of the book right now. It's a book. Here it is right here. Okay, here it is.
Cat in the Hat?
Huh? No.
And never take action to improve their lives. These people are anchors, not wings. They keep you stuck in the past while you're trying to build your future. Let them go. Toxic relationships keep you weak. If someone is constantly bringing negativity into your life, whether it's a friend, partner, or even a family member, you must set boundaries. You cannot grow in a toxic environment. If someone is holding you back, they have no place in your future. Your mind is influenced by what you watch, read, and listen to. If you constantly consume negativity, whether it's social media.
So this is like basic shit they're talking about, but sometimes it's good to hear it again. So it's called Destroy the Old You and Rebuild Yourself Alone. It's an audio book on YouTube, dog, which has been absolutely just, it's good to hear sometimes. And the voice of this dude, it's like an Englishman, dog, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he's got a cup of tea and he's got you know, it's I like listening to it, bro.
Yeah.
But Menace, This has been absolutely amazing. We're like 3 hours into this, brother. Yeah, we're gonna hit 3 hour mark. This has been dope, brother. I want to thank you so much for coming through and just, sharing your pain, brother, sharing your journey, sharing your struggle, man. And I want to congratulate you, brother, on where you're at in your life, man. You've come a long way. And,
definitely has.
And that's absolutely amazing, bro. And if there's people out there that are seeing this man right here, hey, man, you can do it too. You know what I mean? You can change your life. And there's a lot of homies that are watching this behind the walls, man. You know what I mean? And I mean, keep your head up, my G's. You know what I mean? And if Menace can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Know, if you got a date, you got a future. You know what I mean? And if you don't have a date, bro, you know what? Dive into them books, man. You know what I mean?
Just got to put in the work when you get out. Just got to put in the work and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything you would like to say heading out of this podcast, brother?
Yeah, man. So basically, if like you said, if I could do it, you could do it, man. You just gotta get out. You got to. So one thing that I did is I felt like I needed to start fresh. So I needed to surround myself with new things. So basically, anything negative in my life from the past, I left it in the past.
Yeah.
And I picked up new and I moved forward.
Yeah.
And it works, you know. You just like I said, you just got to put in the work. You got to believe in yourself. You got to be motivated, and you got to just keep moving forward. And good things will come. Set goals for yourself and meet those goals. And you know, any goal that I set in front of myself, I've met that goal. From work, money, cars, getting a house, like anything that I said I was gonna do, I did it. And that's all you gotta do. You just have to be motivated to do it.
Absolutely,
right
brother.
on, man.
And Looney,
yeah.
Anything you'd like to say, brother?
I would like to do a little commercial for Mikey's music. If anybody
Mikey
would be interested in purchasing oldies to rap anything, you can contact Mikey's Music and he'll make a USB chip for you, it's anything that you want. I will and Choppa Fitted, Rudy Choppa from Choppa Fitted sells hats, LA hats, brand new hats. I just bought one just recently this weekend. Choppa Fitted, check it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Well, my G's, I appreciate you guys, man. This has been a good. This has kind of been a good little bit of a round table right here.
Yeah.
Real easy, real chill, you know, and I appreciate it. I really I enjoyed this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this too, and I hope the viewers and the listeners enjoyed this. I hope your family enjoyed this. I hope I did a good job on my side. You know, I mean, sometimes I fall off track a little bit, but I think we overall did a good job with this, brother.
Yeah. I wanted to shout out one of my homies real quick. To my homie Buddha. I want to shout out to my homie Buddha, his family, and send mines my love and rest in peace to his big brother, my homie
rest in
Listo.
peace to Listo.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, my G's, we love you guys. Have a great week, a productive week, and we will see you back, I believe, next Saturday, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Yeah, we will be here.
6 p.m.
Yes, we got a guest next Saturday, right?
Yeah. We have Evil Chaos from the Jungles coming on next weekend to give you his prison life in Big Sandy. I was there with him for 6 years. And he has a very positive message, you know. So
what's his name again, bro?
His name is Eugene Gutierrez. He's half black, half Mexican. He's a Damu. He's a blood from the jungles. Yeah, we're gonna bring him over here.
Sheesh, Looney, man. Looney lining them up with the big dogs, man. I appreciate you, my boy.
Hey, right on, man.
Hell yeah, dog.
Anything to bring a positive message, man.
Absolutely. Hey, we love you guys. We are